to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
There's a growing trend of spousal killing in recent times. In a space of 2 weeks, there's been cases of people who opt for murder and killing of their spouses as a comeback in their relationship. We are here at 37 Station to gather views on this trendy issue. Come with us.
Everybody and how the person takes what happens to them. It's relationship. Some might let it go, some wouldn't let it go. They would like to take revenge because maybe might have invested in a fellow that he or she thinks, no, I need to get something back. The investment he or she did is expecting something in return, and if he doesn't get that thing in return, that's when some of them take those actions. But I don't think it's right to do for anybody to take an action against if the person refuses to love you back. Just let it go. Maybe you find another partner somewhere else. It looks like the ladies are really cheating the men. They are really cheating the men nowadays, and the men don't want to let go, so they just want to take revenge. If I don't get you, after everything that I've spent, if I don't get you, then I need to end your life. When it gets to these relationship stuff, my friend, sometimes it's about self-control. Some don't have self-control. Yes.
The thing is that this thing here is not about the security people like the police, because they can't be in your house to ensure that you don't kill someone, or because after all, if you're in a house with your girlfriend or you're in a room with your girlfriend, whatever goes on in the room is between you and her. You understand? So I think what we can do to curb this whole issue now is to educate the public about the issue. And I think that what is causing this whole thing is, I don't know, should I call it depression or, yeah, because there are some people who like when they are depressed, they're not able to control themselves, so by they do all kind of crazy stuff and things like that. So I think we should educate the public about the issue. Yeah, I think that's what we can do as a nation to help.
Well, it depends on who you trust, and that's the problem. When you trust someone and then the person tends to hurt you in a way, sometimes you can't control yourself. So maybe that's what brings on. But well, that's how some people can't control themselves, and that happens. Charlie, who call relationship? Yeah, I come a photocopy, never copy new room. That's what I say. Anyway, but let's say you are in a relationship. You should not, for now, like this generation, because you shouldn't rather put all your trust in it. Like, main kind of sense, like that's the person in a sense. Like when you be grandpa, it won't pain you to the extent of killing the person.
That it's men doing the killing.
Yeah, sure. But girls too can poison you. There.
It's not good that a guy should kill a lady because of abandoning or something. That one is unfair. For killing, I'm not sure I can kill. Yes. What I'll just do is because this can you have to do people. Yeah, so maybe how I'll feel is what I'll do. But for now, I can't tell you what I'll do to the lady. Exactly. It's very painful. Yeah, it's very painful. You see, nowadays, guys nowadays, they are not like our olden fathers that they forgive things like that. So you see, nowadays the street guys, especially.
Relationships are based on commitment, you understand? So if you are committed to something, I'm not sure you'll be willing to let go or let it slide. But then in this case where they are all saying it's men doing the killing, fine, yeah, it's men doing the killing. I feel sometimes people are too emotionally attached to other people, and then it causes them to like lose their guard during certain circumstances. This one, it don't be security matter. It don't be security matter. You don't expect a cop to be lurching around in your house asking you what a girl is doing in your home. Like until maybe like further complaints are placed for them to like maybe set in. They can't just come into your home with their own will and then do whatever they want. I feel like they didn't place maybe their reports well, or maybe the kind of reports they were giving weren't factual, because sometimes people place prank calls and that kind of stuff. So that has made the security system to be loose.
A man who's almost yes, I don't almost yard there. What has your back say, Abia? Meanwhile, will be man, and no chance say Uncle Kumuno. What I say, because broken heart there, Unya, it gives you experience. Yes, and the experience, man, I'm a woman say, next time if I go into a relationship, I will not do this, I will not do that. It is that I did, and I have a problem with my woman. What I said, that means, whoa, experience into what to do and what you are not supposed to do. You understand? But all in all, God is one. We are in end time. Don't forget that.
So you heard the thoughts and views of people on the issue of spousal killing that is growing in our community recently. What is your opinion as well? You can drop them in the comment section below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV, for more of such contents. My name is William Na, reporting for GhanaWeb.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange waiting in so unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like Nenya £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
So as almost sweat in the day, yes, sweat and I can do. When would the end in show?
DB sweat.
Sweat now. What a cow one wants to say with chili woman. Or there's so sweaty.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another episode of eForum on GhanaWeb TV. As Atnasi and some coach Kobre for arts and entertainment industry. But today our focus will be still on the VGMAs. So last week Nana Romeo, Caleb, and then Vadeduchuma Boatin were here. We spoke about a number of things, including expectations for the 24th edition of the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Yeja hoko in the last couple of days, near PSCC, you artists ni be Omaho Kai bin so I say Emaduku mi fita. So as we gear towards the final event or the main event, we look at how things have been in the last couple of days. In the studio is Papa we are mihuna de bia nanim kra ma osre. Foster Romanus is a TV presenter, is a stand-up comedian, an actor. Usa Edebio.
Be a musician, be an event MC, be an event organizer, be a marketing consultant.
Sit down, comedian.
It is almost sit down. Nana Romeo is a broadcaster. Where Juma Accra FM. You Juma Dia Koso Accra FM, and then Entertainment Capital. Nana Kwaba, yeah, fine. Nice one. And then Moamope Highlife back in the day. Odo kakra, sika kakra, opade pansu srabodin. Diane Sheho, where Mr. Solomon? Akosomo. Akosomo, we chisel. That song was Zabmalet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. How long has it been? And you know?
Somewhere 96 and 7.
96. Let's say marketing research and ATM was 8. Let's say so quickly, the making of the song, how did that come about?
Yeah, it came about at the time we call it German. So I was a musician.
Okay.
Did many things. So I coined by advantage about and send me record. That's what I did.
Okay. Right. My memory Romeo ne Romanus so. So far, Nana, baby, I Jeffrey last week. Any musicians na ho keka. So who ni saying?
I didn't know.
Ayehu. Ejabem.
Last minute na I didn't know who pa. We say be cry last week no. They make it count and I say my DNA say Easter kaka. We say
wait oh. Sa video ne there. We then Camido we ni obe Roblox ano. Share. Ebe ka box am
you ni. Tell you come here one kakra. Yeah, but to be honest, I didn't know last minute my hot kakra.
Okay.
With the likes of Blacko coming out to write something about the DJ. But you see, it's too late. I think it's too late.
Should have come earlier, eh?
Yeah, because not when you are in Ghana and having about Twitter and about you have 5 DJ. Even though now we need Ghana, I mean you've been roaming, we know say for some time now you've not been stable in Ghana.
Yeah.
You go around, playing shows here and there and the other. But it doesn't take a whole day to tweet or write something about BGM or even post the artwork to remind your fans say it's out to vote for me. Now last minute, and so we've seen your sweat. We've seen your wine. Sweat and sweat and sweat.
Also, you've seen my blood, sweat and tears. You've seen the ups and downs of my journey. I have had my lips shut and my eyes opened ever since I stepped in the game. Yeah. I don't plan on changing that. Not today, not tomorrow. Let's go. And it came with the artworks of his nominations at the VGMs.
We don't say a copy and paste. I'm so being a trouble, you know.
We are talking about Black Hole songwriter.
No, I'm talking about say in some okika you've seen my wine sweat.
Sweat. Mo so wa bre. Mo hu ni moja wa bre ni moja ni. Oh.
No, Black Hole is one of the luckiest musicians ever in the world. Now Black Hole bre here what started music na nyame ya wadom. And now you record label no sign it.
Before that,
before that. Black Hole, how old is Black Hole?
Money, that's how I'm record. Okay.
Black Hole, there, so as almost sweat in the day, yes, sweat and I can be. When we the ensure
DB sweat.
Sweat now. What a cow one want to say with chili woman, or there's so sweating. How many artists in a year lucky say, oh, buy a no, and you'll be a so moon.
Yeah.
Wow, you need to see it, and I'm Muntamu say, you cry, cramba, and I unya big deal here, and you enjoy. The Black Hole cry, they can't sweat to cry, their man can be cry. Sweat, I hear no sweating. You get it? And idiom, you see, Black Hole mono, Omontia say, you say, or CH, a bear of the cry said, and now you baby. You see, I there and come for no. In himself, Black Hole Ghana. VGMA, your biggest award scheme ever Ghana, whether we like it or not. This is Nyamia Adonia nominate you. Now, course, now by us a month for voting. Why you when you do Ghana and Ra, and an I think I will catch say who sweat another. A month for soon that I vote him on movie.
But it's not only Black Sheriff now or call mute. We did an article about 7 musicians. Oshana say PCS tankwa. So Omonon swear and now who say Black Hole because they not as he's part of the favorites in T, he should have been very loud.
You see the thing is Black Hole. Obi to say Sarkodie, you've seen it all. Sarkodie, VGMA and Shadanya target view. It is a Obi Aobo local league. Now a man of the tournament, a player of the tournament. If you do baby no, or target ASAB Abako Africa. Now if you have a Kobia Europe, Black Hole, VGMA, Afena was starting. On Sharanji, I'm saying so far the
best new artist.
Best new artist. I feel and I will vie for the ultimate. So take it serious. Who we need Nadia,
relax
once, no, or relax here. That's fine. But what phenomenon way when you cry, I don't want to say what the money Stoneboy. Stoneboy, Mama Jia break. Stoneboy, given a new VGM and Stoneboy own here. And I'm not cool with that decision. No. Somebody like Camido, so the same thing. Camido also so I feel in your room. So you guys should make it look say you respect the award scheme. What taking normal up to now? Your friend is saying this guy, last week I make us in a remix, you know. Kevin Boy, relax. Kevin Boy, hey, sir, you nominate me. Like I said, they don't even value it. But someone never bounce on all through Sylvia.
Yeah, recently, Kwame Eugene interview with Delay. Okay, Niema winning artist of the year, no, at the buy, including ambassadorial deals near the But would you also say, Ebia scheme no nenya kono for these young folks, Romanus, to engage in it the way we may be expecting them to until this last minute? I say, I think will be say.
No, I think it is how we accept it. Young be mad and vibrant. Just any room you can. Up until say PCS at the promotion at the idea banner. It should say like we accept it, say this is what we have and she's part of it. So imagine say Black Hole a tweety, Camido a tweety. It brings it so even the organizers themselves know they are still so more say Charlie, this is the euphoria there until we have to also bring our A game. And that is how they can improve on it and make it better. But and like you're saying, until so many award now it comes with certain benefits. Say what you be honest where you're dang where then but will be the chin who know the yen in your man, and I'll be say, oh, me who yanka. So I feel say it is yen empathy a bit accept ya, then I'm at yet. Because those times, back in the day, VGMA, Charlie, VGMA, be bad. A different ball game altogether. But now, no,
so then, what has changed?
That's what I'm saying. The musicians themselves, you know, ain't so much way you get.
Okay.
Almost never mad then I vibrant because award scheme. Baby, na beja award wa womba. Why you don't nominate to womb post? Why perform a crowd womb post? You don't even say anything about it. How do you want me, your fan, feel? I feel say this is not something you want. I won't even mean say oh to you why should it matter to me? Because all now that's when and if I'm voting because you have asked me to do it. And it also makes me feel say I am part of or act and I say but if you've not done that to me, then yes, I don't feel say I would want to associate myself since my area may support it.
Yeah, cross checking we can even go on most of the artists now. We are top artists on page name.
Yeah.
See, Kevin Boy in the page.
Yeah.
There's nothing
VGMA.
Nothing. Oh. Meanwhile, all contested. So one posted on a day no. So one we near. So we are now being Kevin Boy crazy. Don't forget the voting so counting.
Yeah.
I can't quantity your fans must vote. Now where you win it, and another way you don't vote, you don't post anything about it. Now later no. Until more chance and Grammy. Forgetting say, answer about Europe. I saw starting Ghana League no.
Yeah. Because the write-ups, the pictures, etc. will make somebody want to listen to you.
And I don't understand. So now I don't know why. Well, because you see, a moment now because it looks like even RTP awards. It looks like a lot of media people are even tired of it. They say, they bring come once. I think there's something wrong.
Last time we big make his appointment. No, I said Ghana to say Bibia.
Honestly, the PSA, you know, we need to applaud the girl and the woman because you see, I think Wama Euphoria be a bat.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the fewer this year. How many people will say I'll be back? Why you T-shirt? No, na me day. Na
on any software picture.
A man for and or say Pentecost as a phone also a draw a post on social media. At least Wama mileage kakraba at the end. The rest of the I can say apart from PSC, any be upcoming ones and as I feel mobile. Almost all the top artists now will be a crown canvas.
And PSA we near on one.
PSA we near one. Of course, once or woman there,
artist of the year, no,
because but a honor and tough no. They say PSA we near one. If you say black will be near one, if you say Camido, I'm a honor there. I had carry.
Because I'm asking because, like you said, PSA now sama honke kanaba and the Pentecost factor, which has been a center of the conversation, and also and Blacko, Afina Waba into the picture. So now, what's social media? A Blacko and PSA Esther, but no crown PSA the end by and sana Blacko fans, no, and so be who did it. And I've seen some people pushing a Stonebwoy narrative. It's the reason I'm asking.
Starting from George Quay.
And then Arnold. Minim say bia they want to a bit my agenda to as a into light into a hassle, but the points that they are making is also valid. And Osha we say munina in the conversation we had last week, and more pinpointed those that you think will win. And in Bisano, PSA we near a bear one, and I say Enyan.
Once a woman there, it means a possible winner. And we need to be honest. And shocking Ghana for Brisa because she also deserves it.
Okay.
The only idea they be a make say or make me use I might be a PC into me winning say Nadia na only for Ghana. I said it's yes about Ghana, but over Camido, over Black Comuna, they are selling Ghana outside too. A hawker cranna, a yana de be a make say or make me use Edia ma PC or Fanaka. And this are not strictly about Ghana. obia show about Ghana, obia kind of promotion, obia loudness, nessa no man there. Nka PSC start it all.
Remember Mr. Solomon saw a busa no on painting a picture of more time. Said in a VGM in it, but before that, my Musa Romanus on last week now only her. Why now share any votes of public name? You know, any votes non tonching in terms of work a Juma. So share Camido, Stoneboy, Sarkodie, Joe Metal, PSC Esther, Black Sheriff, and Juana Merefino, MC no. O share why now share what boy Juma pa fatase owini.
Oh, I think say in the list there a lot of them have worked. Stoneboy, I mean, prior to his album release near the idea no to me say he hasn't been relentless craft. Black Sheriff there since I think April since January or so.
Yeah.
He's been and then Camido had a global hit and was almost everywhere. PSA came in midway with YME and it caught fire and also has done. But then like Romeo is saying, I think that the only thing limiting PSA is the fact that we've not seen much of the songs, the engagement outside Ghana. Apart from that, almost all the names in there have had some sort of engagement outside. So that makes it a bit, you know, scary for her. But so what the voting factor with the Pentecost factor like Okana, then that one gives PSC also that upper hand because we see what the Pentecost factor has done to most of the artists.
Yeah.
Joe hasn't been very loud or head of much this year, and so it makes that pool apart from Joe on Shedanye that you know Omomaka in very very like A-list contenders, and it will be difficult to say we are now we. That's what they can tell us.
Right.
Minyaya. Nka Jesus in
Jesus are home today.
Jesus on me too.
Mr. Solomon. So and I'm starting free baby Romeo Romanus and day, you know. Do you have a favorite in the list of the artists of the year? Sarkodie, Stoneboy, Black Sheriff, PSC Star, Joe Metal, Camido, Stoneboy. Okay.
Actually, because that's one where younger artists. Because most of them are
PSC who be that or ni be that. Yeah.
Camido Sunji.
Let's throw to them.
And I'm saying, yeah, they won't be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's with their board none
So, Academy member, I say, Mr. Solomon, during your days,
in Academy,
it is saying musicians are who can to the VGMs when it's getting closer to the event. Saying an here.
Actually, yeah, time now, mostly now. Say do say award this year. You see definitely what yeah got to go win. So that na domination no a tire similar okay. It's not say radio stations in North so promotion area you know. A tire similar you think people back home can.
Okay.
No be to dominate here and easy more to move away there. Do our out to move the and I say yes I'm mallet do we need the best you can see.
Yeah.
But you see, you know, I a little bit difficult.
And artists not those.
And this artist is what boss. Engineers different.
Yeah. I see. Right. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, we'll talk more about Mr. Solomon. Wakushi mwana waba. Aye. Ibidi and Hong Kong. And other issues. It's E-Forum on GhanaWeb TV. Welcome back. You're still watching eForum on GhanaWeb TV. We're having a conversation on the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. But let's talk about Mr. Solomon. Yeah, the Highlife there. Which means those days, me can't say I say me granny. Me ni be asam pamcho. And penny say name. Oh, Jaisa. Yeah. Mr. Solomon, it's they say then Waba Ghana. But Oba Ghana di be saying. Third week ni. Okay. It's say then ube ye nyumuno anasa ube sra no akọ.
Oh, and new project new album.
Okay.
Promotion one and
okay. And new album no let us say okay, first no na mood release singles. Na album pa na da ho. Say de ye de no single na ye de album na say ye de EP. Enti eno na say wo de mu de hin na wo ye wo release single na actually release album. And I say okay.
I don't de winning na.
Okay.
But promotion and based on one song idea promotion. We promote single by single.
Okay.
At the same time album.
And to say they are about out.
Single no about.
Okay. Title ni
Oh.
remixing is saying what feature will be, what's the same beat no.
Strong man also.
What ya na? I see. Why strong man?
I choose him because he followed me and I liked him. I thought they will pass over suited to and then he have done it. He have proved to me I had them to come up.
So una wo approach no and now on the bar say unya no be yanyum.
No, we were having a conversation. I was studio recording. Yeah,
okay.
Conversation about the names in the buy and we contact the management and start here. Then he was also happy to do it. He did it.
And Pempi, there are collaborations between the veterans and the new generation. And yet say it being so can say new ones no omo meje advice and I say omo nim komo say new ones no kre hu omo pese omo veterans no na approach omo ni ade. How is the narrative like for Mr. Solomon?
Sometimes I don't believe so many because guys even Stones strong one say he didn't want to take money because he was just happy say stars that's how even Kenyatta crowd he was also happy to do they didn't
yeah.
You know, sometimes you approach them they don't even ask for money. What we in a kakra waiting there over here but I mean the other woman approach you man nobody they are not bad though. Bad attitude towards me.
I see. So the remix, you know, when a producer, when a mixing master. Saying our corner with the new album, are we looking forward to Sebia? What featured the current crop of musicians? Is that the way you are going on the album? I hope it's releasing, you know. And I say it's something away from we say, you know.
It's a mix. If you are a say, yeah, they will be too so. I say,
okay.
In fact, album will never be independent in future. I did it myself.
Okay. It's the album title then. Penny the Penyampa. Nana Romeo, Onane, Mr. Solomon, and any more question?
Oh, we said all kind of. I'm saying, Okoshima, Germany, everyone say most Highlife is in Germany, no Koyo.
Dentina Germany na munyina amoko because enya ho na Boga Highlife is dentina Germany then o Germany ho
Germany English
But Germany is a nice country. For me, my travel almost about 32 years. Which I like visiting. We call US, we call UK. I like visiting. We also try US and that's
so then then
we need to see me here not 100%. Because George you know to more to that to lead to more it's me say o mo kwaya o mfaso ko
enti wo de o
ya koye program o
okay
kushia buni bana da dinne moja
oh okay
it's almost the same most guys and most of them no more awara for
yeah
live band na dey om kopa ba me dey tia na one thing same say no mo ko ne nam Europe more but Germany ankasa na Europe nyina na say Germany no e hoboso ibi adu ho
e ampa e hoboso
Germany
o town child
e be boso ama
we live in
e be okay nana to aso
come me ko fa ho some time back I'm team na mu say Germany na me wo
now eh no. The way you started now, I knew comedians. Oh, David.
Oh, but me call Germany in
so one David Oscar was this here.
Yeah.
The same music.
The only disadvantage your language, no.
Okay.
Put me share Germany by one engine or a feeling a defined woman. But to come almost so
communication.
Omo yenkrofobia omo yimpa. What English pa so nka.
That's how they do.
Okay.
So can that also in TTS are nice and community. Omo smart o. Me say me share ba kubo basem. Because I say eh. Have you heard me to me twice no can no can. So on person be few ah. I can that na wa be jai.
Yeah.
So on can English na ma pa handa mo.
Your one is my kitchen.
I see.
In terms of live band I want to say no opini papa Pofaji na on in the ball band. That was a story quite who he.
So
the story was
then
I'll call her. And he no answer was show.
Now live band and show on your coy. Because I show the come to match show potting. Nay, at this story and I see.
Well, Satan na social media ni wa.
I say no ocean answer on person obe ko.
Yes.
Enti na me so me pese ase me pia.
Okoya no one baby. Say the baby come.
And okoya 32 years. And no aba.
Say who stay kaka.
Oh, and to bana oko.
Every year mama 3 times.
Oh, okay. That's I see. And you say and single no out. Album ni nyama. Album never bad ben.
Album ni dey this obusa
manager. Album never bad ben.
You only say and you ni na ready.
Okay.
So the kind no. 8 songs. 8 I mean full music. I can album the album. Now the promote is here na remix no.
Yeah.
Odo
kakra.
You can odo kakra, you can odo chisel.
Okay.
But original title the odo chisel.
Sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir main one. Nti eno na one by ede. When strong man so
yeah.
So what here na ya odo start here. So no enko and on so yeah. No so by it. So nice we are playing it.
Romanus. Weekend then Eko.
Odokakra.
Father Bernard, must you know day? I would disturb entire
I think say idea per se and say always and always and always. By and by. Idea per se and say we keep the flame of the creative arts going. And that is not only music, there are other aspects of creative arts and theater. One part of it and you represent here also. Odokakra. Sika kakra na theater kakra on ade na VGM kakra na we kakra sa na ye de ko nyesa haircut no apempempa ene be so Saturday nyame adumu a ye will play ya to the din Father Bernard on National Theatre by Nyansapo Productions and ye kan Nyansapo it consists of Clemento Suarez, General Tatia, myself
and Jimmy Foko no obobo no ko
DeLong Daniel, we have Willie Chambers, Ifwadel, and a host of others are here putting this play together for Saturday, Father Bernard.
So Nyansapo the is a comedy.
Yes.
They see nanu binu na mo ya na.
They see nanu binu na ye. But yeah, I think say the name has a little
correlation.
Exactly.
Brofuna am dia cha no obetu amka. Because say na we nene. Udi means
na lawyer bi ka say Father Bernard obetu mesi mo.
Oh. Nipa ne de oye Brother Bernard. Yeah, father.
My father. Okay.
But who is Brother Bernard?
Brother Bernard. But no no.
No.
Ono na ninem. I think they were who are omukosie na woman baako. Etiem Brother Bernard na obi ko to de ni mu ni so. Ha na face out of form bia. I say Brother Bernard. But I think that what we are doing is to use it as to address societal issues, which most of the time you play, even though you're making sure that we drum in the we are trying to discuss cyberbullying and then judging people without any fact or just because of what you've seen, face value judging. So this is the reason for the play for the better.
So it's Saturday, National Theatre.
Yes.
Time
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
8 p.m. 2 shows always, 100 Ghana cedis flat rate.
Okay.
No VIP, no VVIP, just 100 Ghana cedis. And you laugh your hearts out.
Okay. Nti Yanko streaming Mr. Solomon Nyomono Odo Kakra, the remix featuring Strongman, Strong G. It's on all platforms, Spotify, Babia, digital platforms in we are nafi yakwa share Father Bernard. Nyansapro Productions on National Theatre on Saturday 4 and then 8 p.m. Foster Romanus is a comedian. He's a TV presenter. He's an actor. Also, a market research, market consultant. For us, so Nana Romeo is a radio presenter with Accra FM, and then Mr. Solomon is a Highlife legend. He's a musician and a new one, Abba Bontin. Thank you so much for watching this episode of E-Forum on GhanaWeb TV. Midi the benefit Boabin Abrantipa.
Government has proven beyond reasonable doubt that it is impotent to build. It's on record.
The issue of rent is a very hot topic for a lot of Ghanaians, particularly those who live in the big cities of Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, and the likes. It's the reason why today we're having a conversation with the Rent Control Department of Ghana and also the National Tenants Union of Ghana to see how these two entities work together to solve the perennial problems of rent in the country. My name is Daniel Ojo. This is the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. Gentlemen, good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think Happy New Year is in order.
Exactly.
Happy New Year. I think we should first introduce ourselves to let the audience know who you are and what you do. So okay. I'll start from you.
So my name is Emmanuel Kosu.
Okay.
I'm the head of PR for the Rent Control Department, right, and also the spokesperson for the National Rental Assistance Scheme.
Oh, yeah, great.
I'm also Frederick Opoku,
right,
Secretary General of the National Tenants Union of Ghana, representing more than 18 million Ghanaians.
Right. Mr. Opoku, you're going to be critical in the National Rent Assistance Scheme, which was launched. Many people feel that this is a scheme that is going to be for party foot soldiers and the likes. Do you think that the ordinary Ghanaian on the street genuinely has a chance of benefiting from this scheme?
The reason why we are very much happy that this time our government is the private sector,
yeah,
and involving the National Tenant Team of Ghana to be fully involved to also monitor, evaluate and comment is enough for us to believe that nothing.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now,
Obek Kanokre. Susu sang kwai bia want to nam bia man in kwai bebre.
Mommy, you face can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
Artist of the Year, Afia Yewum 24th edition way. Artists who Makumako 8. Now we the gospel musicians for being any woman making a Pace Esther and a Joe Metal. Now Kaifa woman a Black Sheriff, Stone Boy hobby, Sarkodale, reigning champion, Kiddy Essence hobby, Camido hobby and Afin so a year can promise in Kofu 80 and I were contended for a year Artist of the Year title. Vodafone Ghana Music Awards mrena so obia hwenim krom ha de odweni kire ha nya yeke kan se hina ene befa Artist of the Year na watwin so amabroni me ne wasan so hia nkomo ho GhanaWeb TV se de bia me yema moda no celebrity news showbiz monkomo social media trends as a be ekokoso ne ade ne je say top trends nkomo na news e making headlines no eno ena na watwi ya ba ya beka ho asem so de ye nche se de bia me yema moda ye ntwa ye ho na ye koba ansem no ma abesan go ho amamu. mesanso ma wakwa ba mabroni ya sanso ehia wonim se hade ne ede ena tese edi ho nkomo na watwe eye VGMs Vodafone Ghana Music Awards na edu saa no de na se obi ani abre ye hwe won be peke a top awards no artist of the year, popular song of the year, album of the year, video of the year, producer of the year, edos bebre na ne eda ponso amanfo ka ho asem ye artist of the year afia ye wo 24th edition way artist wo makomako 8 na we the gospel musicians fu ebien enewom making na ye Pace Esther and Joe Metal na nkaifo a wo mu ye Black Sherif, Stoneboy wo hobi, Sakode wo ho, reigning champion Kidi Essence wo hobi, Camido wo hobi and afen so Kim Promise nkofu 80 and wo contended for artist of the year title na just man for can say we there is going to be a lot of surprises na ye kan ye ke ase nkofu ebien bi e krapo beka say ebien nkofu mienu bi to be trend pan album Black Sherif and a gospel musician Pace Esther na man for so afi there it's time for gospel why me ye hit make idea say na ekoka koide mehu za say gospel for table of men for one man support na ni colleagues being so women when you win pefe Celestine Donko ni kunu any other gospel artists when you win pefe was support to Pace Esther na see kwan so eka ho bi na yen so also ayewo one chen sad boys in the house, sad boys and girls Black Sherif fans so supporting we say oh na we can obi among the 8 obi we very deserving and I review and my Black Sherif but most mon kai say enko brain so wo hobi Kim Promise wo ho Camido sugar cane no so sheho Kidi enso sheho bi Stoneboy wow nim say no so e wo hobi na just say it's going to be keenly competitive just say nothing grant won vote ya one voting motion na D-Day no ya report na ya bon na ebo the artist of the year goes to because ogbuefo na watamo ba akoko na just say won awiem na debi ye mpenisa we dey strictly by vote e wo mu say 40% public vote academy di wo mu 30 and a board also di wo mu 30 na VJ missing nsem bebra but maybe so they will shall obetumi winning artist of the year say na kofo I project and one highlight Black Sherif ni Pace Esther say ba ne say amafanya me na make kan say ba ne say kofa won nkofo ebie kofa efa won ho what can say den efa won what can say kofa won ase say kofa won ase na say won nyina nto amawa wo be ye ne there but so far as say won nominate with them person mo ti ase so won nominate obi there na just say the person qualifies to win and no mama yente ye ho asesa na ye ka support yi na watchi a hu say aka some few days I wa the main event be chese so na hu say the Church of Pentecost Ghana Pace Esther Ekobi also see a dickness why just say when you win pefe wo say we rally behind her we posting on social media me hu Facebook me say what Twitter what chema just say all the nominations when you bottle on what chema move vote in Africa say hey now the whole Church of Pentecost National Cathedral you cry yes who one contribution na say one po why declare one support for Pace Esther ne edro bianka dem na mafoche mo we dey nye yi na me se me njije na hwe mamo nka say na mo artists here popular so be we know na say Pentecost free cry say na so bi so me ba beje me phone na vote 30 million ma Pace na mo ko fine it's mo mo dey na mo vote ni enye den because public vote mo so mo dey wo honum apart from academy and the board no na ye kan ye kei na udwani to fema artist of the year 8 nominees na akwa say Pace Esther pe ono pena ase o promote ukoni social media bon say flyer o chema one nominated to flyer ne wo honum hu te say hu komo ne ade wo but 7 na kan Joe Metal sa akodi Stoneboy Kim Promise Camido ni Black Sherif ko on social media pages na hu hwe until May 3 na asama Africa kaka wo chema na munyina ye support mu so so asade kwa akoye say mu mpebi ebinum chere kra one artist kra they are bigger than their one me say oh no mo kasa but they all need this thing mo kai kwa me usual no so we ni bida on the delay interview no chema o winning artist of the year no no elevating brand no onya ambassadorial deals be ade so chema artist of the year so what say we artist of the year Ghana ha say ya na femu ntima femu ntoto na sekra but ye be GhanaWeb num say I feel so am aboni mi gine mu life and color me camera crony ade just say yeah me see bibio 360 say yeah celebrity interviews I say dress and any the red carpet and just say yeah magaba you need to man kasa ye hwe best dress ni worst dress but ye worry mu say na yakoye ni me afi watching mo bi ankofa yi alo dressing bi ambegina mo ba mo hu se mo na maba na akwa say Met Gala aha enu bi ye ndu ho krampa ba mo nchire because there are some people we have red carpet or VJ mesa untumi ntake won kwa na pese me bubo some of the best dress na watchi ya ba GhanaWeb ba hu say yeah over the years celebrities are what I say a dress and the one fan just say what be stylist or better a designer ma no ni part of be pants around atare na etwa pon kasa into lace na and a yes na so feature wom ai na a choke hit maker ai se fan so no wom bi na ye kan ye kin unim say if ya the correct carpet so no so a chain bobre pa no so wom Magine Michelle over the years nin so na atare na ekwanim kama pa na other artists and other celebrities enso ewom Jocelyn Duma ewom bi Bella Mundi nso no do ya host and kasa na address ni de ore infantile sika o say enso feature wom bi nti afi ya ye bomu de ye de ani ato fam say mu bomade na mu ye de na mu ntew ye nim na ye kan ho asem komo bi nso ebepie mu na wotwe a Arnold Asamoah Baidu entertainment critic Universal entertainment pundit and George Quay CEO of Image Bureau what the mo make key post bi na wotwe ma how say conversation no PC Estana Blacko, but Oblipa Bako no so very deserving pan reggae dancehall musician, Stonebwoy, our boy, Beam Nation president, which ma wabon homoding. Yeah, and I review modern ba wabo, no ma we releasing yadin, he truly deserves it. Nama for ye kan ye key. George Quay, the nano December 2, and also the betuja, as I once one endorse Stonebwoy. Na ye kan ye key, raskuku, dancehall musician no so chirema akwa ye to say bia mo pese mo ye say ye church business o say artist of the year nye church business o wa wo ti ase wo follow trends na koma me dikan ye di a kire wa beti as obi a shade no koma na o say we de nye church business o ye fama Blacko onu a wa boni di ase Blacko young rapper no he truly deserves it nti ye prefer be am an artist of the year I recognize no ye kase Ghana he na nyuntu ni odikanga we ye nye te say gospel asemo o se mo fama Blacko nti na watwi de hu say ye hwe nim VJ me hu komo nyina na jamede abetu dwa but ye nwie yo mama ye ntwa ye ho ye beko break aka na ye koba other issues was showbiz celebrity news be course na watwi we do to ha wa beti ase ni nyina me be so de ye nsem rekwa ye ntwa ye ho na ye koba komo ne aka ma abesan egu ha mamu yen santo ayen komo no so say komo ya na ye de se da wo ba ha se wo ba ye dwe so ha de yen fa bi nhyem yen ka bi nhyem no kware na na je se ye do to dwa na se bia se news because one sheda nti ase ya na ma bro ni bi di inside no eni nyina ba beso mo na wo bedu ani beto fama o tete won fama mu se wo se gifty auntie broadcaster o chima oni ni kunu na na kwa ansa we jaye o se na wa ware na gu na ni kunu kura fifie na fa hin kosi ni nyina ya atese me ye hie se mo amote nyina mo fa anya se mo mbontungu gifty auntie ankasa ebie na no de sema betu dwa se otete o so no kwa ye ne ya o se like ni mo odwe ho nti ase esi den ye den ba ne sen no da se ni tumi tina ne fi se ye computer echi so baby o ti bia no tumi keka ne amesi ansema anya no kwaro nso o kekese ni kase ni kunu oni ne jai na wo asem o se ono kwa nya mpa o te sa asem no kwa ye no nwa ntema fo mesere mo aya mu keka mu fuoli sa rumors no to what extent like then am hwehwe wo so ono akasa she lives her life bia you okay oni ni kunu omo te wo fefe one day royal baby na so wo nyina wo hwebum na say otena say fine so no de ni nyina ote but ni nyina onye de on fa anya mu say gift auntie de ye kan chrome ha say mkrofo atitiro a wo champion women empowerment a say bia empowerment nkwa niam bia ehia mmea ho wo di mu atitiro a ye bebu ni din account so she's really paid her dues so abone bra show all your TV so over so many years nti aya samafo beso mota ni image aya mention da auntie asinti yesre mo adwebrel gift auntie so the book bi ba bontin ti say mo a mo prepare information be ni ado say book ni betodwa mo nyina mo bomode na mo nye de mo pebi na mo kenkan former VGMA artist of the year we say VGA season to bibia so we need be there you do special Kwame Eugene on the Dolores from Poman so interview with delay show April ya no release no dey say me betodwa o trema also a girl Aye, me can play. Me van and also will be I just want a net talent I do no I to muso. A woman as a woman or doom some nice a casabia back a cran and walk or break a crack. Yes, a walk or break into the woman was and so about back into a chamber as I said your girl. Now girl and your girl be a keko. Also your law students or your cyber security as I don't say the whole true accolades and one say or your beer to say no many queen ni me con kang I don't know what you may mono just idea you fair mo femia class one who is only my debate. I dare if the minia you be a fan to your bear man on your baby a bit so when him Zania in Jajan who cry into the new relationship with some bet to Jana. Man for Mamma Cassie, ne house help no marrying was a beer bet me na ye be born and trust in your house and a girlfriend ya current one you on one a pair marrying a man so medophones I say Jumani a day because studio near day won't say where the demon some query so no one can pair marry man say a dream mudini a day no shannon a man for chema I say sister yape inside and at the same comobina miss oh ho where you mufiasem mundi mufiasem na I kwam Eugene or didn't send me to Jayana say or Kakan who say Obekai 2020 no dollar catch a music group where the new be betujan will feature kwam Eugene and children be by say well kwame so no true no mean find a course in catches and no quarry but I kwame insisted 2 years later cry after and I could 3 years or chirima where the party there to the no dollar no say party DJ Tramelala drop the song also sa part chorus no any a year we hook no more also no na troy into also be try be case enyo no to otro ya won sin who na nsem ye betu dwa na tese keche won se wonya video yi bi hwe no so kire ma so enye no kware na ya kwakwa se kwa mi vjin pese won adwuma wo ye ni ase opese o discredit won se ase wan bo hu modin bia wonwum na be ye hit song no but ase nsem na ko back and forth no se see ya na watwi ma me say the Thursday no na eye kechebe posti say they want a year kwame Eugene omo ye one big family tonight so say just nsem bia ni monti ma mu say ni say na say nye no kware na eye interview ya na obeka ya eye kwame Eugene on sa akode ebo onwom bi no de betu dwa say nwom na wode betu dwa na ye happy day beka election time no na mafuchema na nato aso na ye endorsement of na Dodan Kwakufado MPP wa unim san command draw also no de sa akodi amanem hu say ni na ekwo so verse no send na nato aso bi anim chono do onim say eye nwoma ye di ye onyame aye ko say wo do ya te say wo set to otutu no fedo be hwe a na nato aso na say o hwe nanim but so san command de enyo no ne sa akodi ne wo bibi na ne management ene ye de edi hu nkomoti kwame Eugene sem no kind wo betimi apedule interview no bi that say why ye de wetie na wate emu nsem a ekoso ye di nkomo ye di nkoye nima na oba krom ha say last year nyomba kwa trendy it is a VGM's most popular song of the year kwa ewum eye waye miye Siesta na nyom ne de nyom na wa hye na nyom na wa tro na say beat bibia the story impact bebre eno na ye breakthrough song pa kese ma Siesta man nya nomination wo Vodafone Ghana Music artist of the year o hyemu bi na sa waye miye odi wanya nomination be ye ne ye wo ho na ye kan ye ke na mafo so nyom yi de ye de na see gospel musician e de abitu dwa say nyom ya che samafo eja atoma che say wo chire me ye monster hits e ma Siesta no so no o techi na si chirema nyom no otro on otro anka no otro ni nyina de but na ewanim bi ni ade na so ono so kan wa wotro ho no bi o de nyum odi e wo nyom yi ho betujo so no na ye producer na wo hwe nyom no the official music video kwa mo credit ne so no ye producer no chema beats ni e course so ni studio kra e na wo be ye den wo be ye sa recording na on Kofi TV na ye interview Kofi Adoma won na Kofi bisan so na asa ya antene voice ni ade no so no kwa tama wo hyehyɛ nyum no Siesta ka so no kwa fa ne verse nto so no se dey bi ne ne kasa Nyankopɔn direction de man so fa nyum no enche eye den Siesta ma on be dimu as e be dimu akoten de bi nti okaka hu se eye Siesta hu se eye ba ye miye o mba be ye all stars akwa te se remix eye nyum tofo bebre wo hobi e wo mu eye me hu so ho na Mercy wo Bapa Christy wo hobi emoji wo hobi just say omo do so bebre no say na si kaka hu say eye pesi kra retain so we di anko be carry me so say dey bi se na okache ne first time na nwum no wo de betu ya se yakopon se o mo take credit bi sa na ogina so no man for say eh and na since we try many hit songs while him say mahama NDC time there say one campaign songs bebre why be say bi se kra ma NDC na wonu nwum so so man for chema ye ba koma na pe songwriters wo bon homodin pa de ene ye be ye de ye be kan na si account nsem na ekoba ya ne say eye na si onu so edi dwuma kese pa dwuma titiru e wo eye pesi enwuma ye ni what say ye ni monster hits wa ye me ye odi hu dwuma bi pa Sini training or some movie producer ye friend eh Tracy Beduntiamwa dodo afeni Tracy Boache ai say oba warefo a wa wone baka makamoni ni kunu Frank na obeka word na wo ye wa ha say say chenchen ni ade eh startup celebrity be radio ni ko che won wedding as say wan ware fe na ware ba say eh Tracy ware ni kunu echi ni kuma bi be to dwa say na Tracy koje eh ni colleague ba kokuma wood actress bi na eh ni kunu na ware ni currently na eh ni boy no koje na so ho mu de bia je say mo ehu so bia obi obi x obi yire obi x obi kunu so obi x munti sankomo na se na Tracy na watchi ya no oko Instagram live no dey say bi besudo chirema Frank Beduntiama ni kunu awon ne won ba fresh boy ya awon na se ya also ne trip na 13 years also ne childhood friend wa talemu dada na just say wo jaaye na eja wo say genti adada just say no na so echi na wan kasa wo ye wan adwe so bebu wa babak na say wan ware at say wan ofefefe ntima mu nka say ebi okohia ne kunu na nse yan so de bi o say ye ne kunu Frank ya nim say berma kentinka gram nice man I just say o de ni to ne hu yi o say ne kunu on pe social media sansensem ni ta na I say de I mu pe say mu ta hu na o say eh yenta hu mu mponi na euza ko Instagram e hu say mu post ni ade but wan ware de ye fe na to say manfo kan ne say Tracy say na wa ye na koso na ye na mwa mpese mo service eyi couple goals ne so ye wa ha mo service be take ne nti mwa mo keka mwa mo nte ye Tracy ba te chema eye ni kunu Frank no onu ne talai onu ni hwibom onu ni si odokwan so 13 years kura be betwem Aya Ghana ni nyumtuni osanso ya actress Nana Frima I obeka ya some years ago be a body enhancement in semi and sister ya or that was screen so fine sister just oba kokko kama she's a very nice looking woman no voice BBI A1 na on Zion Felix interview you know chirima some time ago Zion Felix betu just so onono Nana Frima no oye ne ex-girlfriend that time na Zion Felix girl na wa on Zion Felix a former girlfriend me to some bonity because the lady has moved on tanya fenedi ni be ba na eba be resurrecting e fine dey be say wo Zion Felix na sa girl no ne former girlfriend wo ejai nti yen bebo mi na din fa ne be for nsem dey be yen yesa wa ha na ye koyeni ma na na frema any Zion ye interview no dey to just say years ago na Zion ka say ye ne ex-girlfriend ne partner Zion girlfriend and no what that time and funny easy and after match him we cry Zion Felix ya so na obehu ne current girlfriend no ne be ya danfo but news ne be too just so Zion ne ex girlfriend ne na after ma and esan so ba se na after ma kra kruya san so ni Zion Felix so say homa na say Zion girl, you know, otumi who no status. I feel also who status na akọ here say wa blocking ni bi. Man na frema ekwa ka say nsem ne kokọ so na ọka Zion say akọ here say wo girlfriend no ni nje nya ma ekọ no ho. But na frema interview or here recent one ya no do to just say. O say aye ne ya pa o say we Zion Felix o say we di wo ho ya. Cause nsem yi ba na ma fokika ka nsem gu nani ma say o say no na frema that time kono no so boyfriend no but say dey on ni jai. Nsem ne ba no so kwanya issue on relationship because akọ here say o Zion pena e na be to say wasanso akakonyem no that was at the time as I am Felix a girlfriend say bia akakonyem me mbodin sa adwuma ne de onu se mentan pe wa ha se cause asem ne de I dey etwimba ye ka asem si asem so se ne de bia nkomo na be de emu be ye de nti nsem yi na te say na afre machema she was expecting Zion Felix anko obeba no akoso enye no kwai we de enye but Zion Felix couldn't stand up when to me anya te say adanfo pa anke bia ma no na Zion so say na asem enye no kware wo se wonyem asa unyima kansa ka wa wo ye nti na sad time na ansem na nye no kwan so no de na ko hu mfaso bia be hu so babeka so enye no kwan sa waste of time o say oninta na wanye but sesia no eye interview wo ye recent wa ya say wan aka wan asem ne wie na wan abom na say asem ne de wan atwa so na what trade dey say news ba kwa trending power social media dey say be TikTok Twitter Facebook, Instagram, baby, and was a priceless wigs, a Dr. Chibi, Nigerian a businesswoman beer, or the nature Ghana or Chimo a mega a wig sales. That is a me, yenny now be I grow be I let because Bona no bonendia to 4 for wigs here, the way to just or a tongue into my from Brambe Toby. Now who's a general so and Cassane, what did you bear so pay no did you crave in a month for so, guess so. Ye bebo the aniako a sales, even alcohol pebinaz a dear boy impriman, new modding. Now, young one says social media watch them a year macola for a wig a association will do a near cockatcher or say 1 man cos watch them I want to say will be a finic crum Nigeria baba crum has a year retailing I find in a cosina just say in some day be listen to the mutate and say sales now cost. Obomodia saying mechanics I was saying to say we be do one what my mama mean to and para and the mammy free our market he just say and I want penny and we are in our country and why do we allow foreigners to take over them some moon sana mama China for and yeah who come on me baby dinner it is 80 man as a one a priceless weeks sales now cost mammy anka said dinner a table so he say you kuyan so aka say ne wedding kwafo ho ya pa na find the question say me to social media na be hwe Nigeria for say omo Ghana man we there you there we be brothers why you for do so na find the question na mafo chirema Ghana for no ya chedan boy ho modern was asem cause no say Nigeria for the way yin nipa it is aka obi ko Ghana ni na ko Nigeria so kwa yes sales na ko ye ne sa Ghana fo wo se obese obesam sanka be modana mafo chirema emra wo krom ha a e kire se obi ntumi mfi ni krom ba ha se ba be ka se wo tonton ne masa se wo se wo chema eye mami no ye sales wan famra kwanso eno de ye nso de ntumi nkire but se na e ko bai na na ti se mafo de wan no atuma na na ba na mo an broadcaster chema o se eye santo kwa na mo ko enye Nigeria na sa ka mo ne nuku mo ne China fo nko ko se wo twa ye market ha se ya China fo na be beje mo adwuma nyina afa I want to feed the water nyama wo krania market beton eno kra mo no won ko ye na feed mo amunipa bibini te se mo ba ha se beton na fe se mo ne ko ready one what be binu so chema wo a wo se wo di kan ko me a guess ya wo videos couple of videos e wo TikTok wo chema wo ko do hon kra price na America so de be ma won kra enye sa na o de ma ba se me de bebre na e do so ba se di akokogu it's more na ka mo hwe ni se ma akoto wigi bi na de minim se mo ko yi munye bi dia na se mo nye bia mo de bebo preman Busumi ya na emaki 3 years Kumawood actor sini training Bishop Bernard Nyako ekabe bi na ye kan Yakopon enkoso anfa ne kra NCA na papa yo ti ase de onim se Kumawood movie ne de me to chema Bishop movies be Robert and the man osofo as a be a hard guy then comedy be any A1 the movies the fair kasa na we be fan na to say nkofo didi ho ya wa 3 years aba betwem na ye kan movies are one of the very popular one clips etwegu pan ye ba ko bi no say waware reta mama ba ha say na wo pam no obakoko soro enye fe like ye kan just say ye kan adofo areho but ni we de unim say obebeto ya say na oyare kakra na efe eche say we say yakopon aton safen but 3 years mo na ye wo nti be say me bisa wo the late actor Bishop Bernard Nyako ni movie and I say a clip ben I really say popular to say role play to wa akoma so me can say ye ba creator or ba kokosro enye fe kran eno mebo modern na me ya mount eno so hwe na to say wo so kire wadwen movie Bernard Nyako ye I feel say the most memorable movie a otwa mra oti asase so ko ehia obako ebi nsibio me feno se kwame me don yire wa pam me Oba ko soro enye ebi sibio na watching na Met Gala course na twese de bia onim say artist na what a Met Gala na what ya say it's one of the biggest fashion event no doubt cause celebrities ababa to say titru efi sports efi fashion efi music hefa won nyina wo gada na to say won hye na to say dressing to say wa obeti ase na sa fi de demonstration kwan kasa to say dress le because wan kasa na ye kan yeke African personalities be so edwani ekopie mo honom na Ghana ha say so who say Storms no so represent Nigeria ni nyumtini terms any Burna Boy edwani kopie mo ewo Met Gala na Ghana ni any training or a British actress or no see if any Michelle Collinson or no so no kwano a co-host for a Met Gala no na the dressing there no so A1 and kasa dressing see twagui a Storms the day I Trevor Noah so ekopie mo hobby I'm who say Idris Elba and in and so ekopie mo fe Cardi B ni Offset so na hobby Rihanna na ono so any ASAP Rocky Edison when you kocho na fi de me hu Nicki Minaj rappers who Nicki Minaj was but it's still the show still went on Kardashian sisters so when you know what you copy or addressing the show near catch J-Lo copy more honum for be and specifically bisa a theme Met Gala hina pan or understanding assignments and here a slim out now you can't was say Nigeria for copy more near him say I fear that you knew me Ghana phone to be to me then I represent them say de bia mo dia had them more appreciate you and I'm my artist so precious one call Grammy one call Hifa I feel the Met Gala so do ya most say Ghana need me how are you anyway now what trade and some no dem I'm a Brony from social media trends VGM phone common bidin na betu dwana se na makai mo no Ghana will be new copy VGM is afia anti May 6 minute will be share and I just say artists for be interview very exclusive ones you be looking out for the dress and what be step out in style those who really understand the assignment on the red carpet almost ankofuni na bebo on hwano na what share da yenimu ye hwe nim se say na what de beba na do bi ehu ni smoothness level wa befa wa be lose wa be kase de bia VGM fu wiemu no sa na ya tese no tese ankwa ama wo ye de big surprises and disappointments and ni na ba bebronti ma wani kwaso anda na tese yen order a shows ye e-forum people and places just a months and cuddles just say oh low down your programs a bit we dem call your YouTube channel na monko hwehwe best crown so ho ma business fun mo mo dia na muntie ne ekoso se zonu me GhanaWeb de ye ntwe mu feinti ama broni me ne mo bedin karba da se ne ye sanso hia me de me to me ntwen kra me de mu nkomo cause me hwe ni mpa hena ene be fa VGM artist of the year ye be sanso hia
There's a growing trend of spousal killing in recent times. In a space of 2 weeks, there's been cases of people who opt for murder and killing of their spouses as a comeback in their relationship. We are here at 37 Station to gather views on this trendy issue. Come with us.
Everybody and how the person takes what happens to them. It's relationship. Some might let it go, some wouldn't let it go. They would like to take revenge because maybe might have invested in a fellow that he or she thinks, no, I need to get something back. The investment he or she did is expecting something in return, and if he doesn't get that thing in return, that's when some of them take those actions. But I don't think it's right to do for anybody to take an action against if the person refuses to love you back. Or just let it go. Maybe you find another partner somewhere else. It looks like the ladies are really cheating the men. They are really cheating the men nowadays, and the men don't want to let go, so they just want to take revenge. If I don't get you, after everything that I've spent, if I don't get you, then I need to end your life. That's how. When it gets to these relationship stuff, my friend, sometimes it's about self-control. Some don't have self-control. Yes.
The thing is that this thing here is not about the security people like the police, because they can't be in your house to ensure that you don't kill someone, or because after all, if you're in a house with your girlfriend or you're in a room with your girlfriend, whatever goes on in the room is between you and her. You understand? So I think what we can do to curb this whole issue now is to educate the public about the issue. And I think that what is causing this whole thing is, I don't know, should I call it depression or... Yeah, because there are some people who like when they are depressed, they're not able to control themselves, so by they do all kind of crazy stuff and things like that. So I think we should educate the public about the issue. Yeah, I think that's what we can do as a nation to help.
Well, it depends on who you trust, and that's the problem. When you trust someone and then the person tends to hurt you in a way, sometimes you can't control yourself. So maybe that's what brings on. But well, that's how some people can't control themselves, and that happens. Charlie, who call relationship? Yeah, I come a photocopy, never copy new room. That's what I say. Anyway, but let's say you are in a relationship. You should not, for now, like this generation, because you shouldn't rather put all your trust in it. Like, main kind of sense, like that's the person in a sense. Like when you be grandpa, it won't pain you to the extent of killing the person.
That's it's men doing the killing.
Yeah, sure. But girls too can poison you. Be there.
It's not good that a guy should kill a lady because of abandoning or something. That one is unfair. For killing, I'm not sure I can kill. Yes. What I'll just do is because this can you have to do people. Yeah, so maybe how I'll feel is what I'll do. But for now, I can't tell you what I'll do to the lady. Exactly. It's very painful. Yeah, it's very painful. You see, nowadays, guys nowadays, they are not like our olden fathers that they forgive things like that. So you see, nowadays the street guys, especially.
Relationships are based on commitments, you understand? So if you are committed to something, I'm not sure you'll be willing to let go or let it slide. But then in this case where they are all saying it's men doing the killing, fine, yeah, it's men doing the killing. I feel sometimes people are too emotionally attached to other people, and then it causes them to like lose their guard during certain circumstances. This one, it don't be security matter. It don't be security matter. You don't expect a cop to be lurching around in your house asking you what a girl is doing in your home. Like until maybe like further complaints are placed for them to like maybe set in. They can't just come into your home with their own will and then do whatever they want. I feel like they didn't place maybe their reports well, or maybe the kind of reports they were giving weren't factual, because sometimes people place prank calls and that kind of stuff. So that has made the security system to be loose.
Remember, no so yes, I didn't. Nya what as your back say, Ebia, meanwhile, Ubima, and no chess say, Unko Kumuno. What I say, because broken heart there, Unya, it gives you experience. Yes, at the experience, man, I'm a woman say, next time if I go into a relationship, I will not do this, I will not do that. It is that I did, and I have a problem with my woman. What I said, that means what experience into what to do and what you are not supposed to do. You understand? But all in all, God is one. We are in end time. Don't forget that.
So you heard the thoughts and views of people on the issue of spousal killing that is growing in our community recently. What is your opinion as well? You can drop them in the comment section below. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV, for more of such content. My name is William Na, reporting for GhanaWeb.
$25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the Digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now,
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the Digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Government has proven beyond reasonable doubt that it is impotent to build. It's on record.
The issue of rent is a very hot topic for a lot of Ghanaians, particularly those who live in the big cities of Accra, Kumasi, Takrade, and the likes. It's the reason why today we're having a conversation with the Rent Control Department of Ghana and also the National Tenants Union of Ghana to see how these two entities work together to solve the perennial problems of rent in the country. My name is Daniel Ojo. This is the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. Gentlemen, good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think Happy New Year is in order.
Exactly.
Happy New Year.
Yes,
I think we should first introduce ourselves to let the audience know who you are and what you do. So okay. I'll start from you.
So my name is Emmanuel Kwasu.
Okay.
I'm the head of PR for the Rent Control Department, right, and also the spokesperson for the National Rental Assistance Scheme.
Oh, yeah. Great.
I'm also Frederick Opoku.
Right.
Secretary General of the National Tenant Union of Ghana, representing more than 18 million Ghanaians.
Right. Mr. Poku, you're going to be critical in the National Rent Assistance Scheme, which was launched. Many people feel that this is a scheme that is going to be for party foot soldiers and the likes. Do you think that the ordinary Ghanaian on the street genuinely has a chance of benefiting from this scheme?
The reason why we are very much happy that this time our government sees the private sector,
yeah,
and involving the National Tenant Union of Ghana to be fully involved to also monitor, evaluate, and comment is enough for us to believe that nothing is going to be hidden at all. The day that they were launching this at the full blare of the Vice President, I was very categorical that Mr. Vice President, Madam Chief of Staff, we know people don't trust whatever government brings.
Yeah.
And that we fear that everything must be transparent, credible, so that people will have trust in the system and the scheme.
Right.
And we were given assurance, even when the Vice President had the speech. And in fact, from then, we realized that they meant business.
Okay.
And this time around, we don't foresee it be like others, or the usual.
Okay.
And that we've been working with the rent masters as well. And so far, so good. Just that people might have one or two reservations about certain conditions, which they have sat us down and explained. And we begin to resonate with them to some extent, because sometimes government brings an initiative. You don't all the time bastardize it. At least you look at the good of it and see how it must be successful. So that we don't use the trivial issues to just bastardize and just call it off. Because it's an opportunity that might not come at a lifetime. Because how many years? Ghana. So many years, government does not even need to able to build. So if today government comes and says, like, I have this scheme that will enable the tenant suffering over the years, paying 3 years, 4 years, what have you, that I'm going to pay for you to pay monthly, whether you are informal or with the public or wherever, just to prove that indeed you have what it takes to pay every month. You are there.
Okay.
So it cuts across. It's not only the private sector. Whatever work you do, can you prove that if you are given the opportunity, you'll be able to pay? And going to the extent of them demanding Momo statement, it's enough this thing to believe that they mean business.
Okay.
If they had not brought that, then I would have had a whole issue to talk about.
All right. So we'll delve into the nitty-gritties of how this National Rental Assistance Scheme is going to work. And if you just tune in, we're having a conversation about rent in Ghana. And you know it's a very burning topic because of the insufficient building or housing situation in Ghana, where a lot of Ghanaians who want to find a decent place of abode would have to pay upfront 1 year, 2 years, and more to be able to afford a decent place to sleep. We also have in the studio the PRO of the Rent Control Department of Ghana, Mr. Kosu. You heard Frederick describe your outfit as a toothless outfit. I'm sure you didn't feel good about that, but that's to a large extent the sentiment of a lot of Ghanaians, because they feel your outfit is not doing as much as it could do. How do you answer to his description of the place that you work?
No, that's his opinion.
Okay.
Despite the fact that we are lacking some logistical items to perform our duties to the extreme, I don't want to take his opinion away. Okay, that's his opinion. So I want to leave it there.
Okay, but fundamentally, what is the role of the rent control of Ghana fundamentally?
Okay, so we get our mandate from the Rent Act 1963. That's the Act 220, and specifically under Section 5, that's laid down the functions of the Rent Control Department. The first on the list is the conduction of an assessment. Assessment is where we come and see how your building is, how your premises is, what materials have you used in constructing your premises, and then even the value of land on which you've built your premises. The rate that you pay, including the property rate and any other rate that you pay, we factor them all in, and then the determination of the rent per month is determined. So we give you an assessment certificate. If there's a tenant already in the premises, we give a copy to the tenant as well, so that he will know how much he's supposed to pay after a month notice has been given to him.
So you are supposed to determine how much people are supposed to pay for their rent. I've been renting for God knows how long. I haven't received any.
Yeah, so that is the sensitization program. You as a tenant has right to apply for this assessment. Likewise, the landlord. Okay, so because we are ignorant of this in the Act, we just quote to, let me use this local, quote to the landlord's rent.
Isn't it clearly an issue of demand and supply? If there is more demand and there is less supply, the person who has the goods or the product is at an advantage and says, this is how much I'm charging for it. If you don't want, you can leave.
Yeah, we understand the housing deficit is currently 1.8 million. Okay, and secondly, it's also a function of under the rent control to have what we call vacant premise register. A register of vacant premises in the country. But before the landlord moves out from his house, somebody is already standing there, demanding there. So he cannot even get to the rent control department to register this. So these are it's basically because of the housing deficit that we are facing in the country.
So this thing that you say you are mandated to do you actually do it? Like, are there houses where you have gone to where your department really is the one that has set out how much this ordinary Ghanaians are supposed to pay for rent?
Yes, you know, it's a newly built premises, and then premises that we are having disputes. So we do this assessment mostly for buildings that there are disputes on, because the landlord
dispute between tenant and
landlord. Okay, because the landlord is demanding so much from the tenant. So the tenant, if he does not understand, because he knows this provision in the Act, comes to assess it so that a realistic determination can be made. That's how much there. So we get most of these applications for houses that are under dispute.
But if I fight with my landlord, I'm not going to have peace in the house, you know. if I go and if you like report my landlord to rent control, and rent control says that instead of the 1,000 cedis that my landlord is charging, I should pay 800 cedis. And the landlord said, okay, I'm not renting the house again, it's my house. My son is coming from Abuchi. He will come and stay in the room. So I'm not renting it again.
Okay. So there's this right of tenant that we are not exploring. If you report a landlord for such an issue, the landlord has no right to evict you or come out with any excuse that my son or I want to renovate the place. Until your tenancy expires, the law says that if you don't contravene any of the provision in the act, the landlord has no right to evict you. So this cannot be a basis on which a landlord can stand on evict. Of course, I understand after your tenancy, he can tell you that, no, I don't want to renew for you again. But within your tenancy, the landlord cannot say that, I want to refund your money for you because you're going to report me on this assessment issue, so I'm evicting you. You have the right to stay there for the period of the tenancy that you've signed. And after that, the landlord, both of you have right to renew it or to vacate the place, or the landlord also has right to renew it for you or just give you an eviction notice. So these are the issues we are facing.
It appears that on paper you have very nice laws, your job is really cut out and everything, but what are really the challenges that is not making you carry out your function?
Okay. Yeah, so you see we are in a technological age now, and there is this agenda of digitalizing the rent control department. It's on course because we've gotten a framework from the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization together with the Kofi Annan Technological Center, as well as NITA, the National Information Technology Authority or Agency. So a framework has been concluded. Now it has been passed on to an implementator. He's also taken one or two. He has done the the national assessment. So very soon that agenda will come. And that will cure our computer and accessories issue. Okay, because we currently, most of our offices, there are no computers. We are still on the manual.
In 2023?
Yeah, manual way of doing things. And so this is going to cure that perfectly. But the issue with cars, your producer will attest to it, we lack cars to move us around because it's part of our functions to do this what we call assessment and then inspections. So that when you come and then there's a dispute as to how the premises is, how deteriorating the premises is, an official from the rent control needs to follow you to go and ascertain physically what is going on. But because of lack of vehicles, we are not able to do that purely 100% as we do. Sometimes we have to depend on the client to follow them to, because even the budget...
That's very sad, you know.
No.
Do you think that politicians have not, I mean, I'm not talking about this government from independence, have not taken the rent control department and the work and the function that they do as seriously as they should?
No, I can agree with you, but for the past 3 years when we started coming out, you see that the government interest has come onto the department. That's how come this National Rental Assistance Scheme came to effect, and then this digitization issue I'm talking about is also in place. The assessment is ongoing. So very soon the system or the department will be digitalized. But the issue about vehicle is still pending because we've complained to our vice president.
How many vehicles do you have?
We have 4 in the entire country.
4?
Yeah, out of the 58 offices that we have nationwide. Okay,
4 vehicles. What's the condition?
Oh, they are perfectly. The registration number is 2020. So they are in perfect.
But you don't have any IGF or anything.
No, we all the money we generate goes to the government. Okay, we don't have IGF. But we give our budget every year to the government through the Ministry of Works and Housing, and then we get what is allocated. But those things are not enough.
I think the media has a responsibility to push for governments to pay more attention to the rent control department because they play a very critical role in solving this ongoing, unending situation of rent in the country. We'll go for our first break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation with the Rent Control Department of Ghana and also the National Tenant Union of Ghana. I bet you may have not heard it before, but today we get the lowdown on all of the activities on this special edition of The Lowdown. We're back after this break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to the Lowdown. We're having a conversation about rent in the country, and I know if you're an average Ghanaian, rent is an important subject to you. For a lot of Ghanaians, the chunk of their salaries goes into rent and then feeding. It looks like we are working for landlords in this country. You work and you have to pay 2 years of rent. Frederick, you heard Mr. Kposu speaking about the logistical challenges and all of that. How do you work together with the rent control to ensure that tenants in the country get the best out of this mess that appears to be on the horizon?
Very well, thank you once again. I have said a number of that time that our government past and gone. I don't know how to describe them, because housing is a very important commodity or aspect of our life, and we believe that the government should have done better. Imagine what Mr. Kposu rightly putting out today, that they have 4 vehicles, the whole Ghana. Is the government serious at all? We have serious government. Because you see, let me be very frank, I always use Abraham Maslow's theory of needs to make this assessment. And they have all read, all of them, ministers, DCs, haven't they learned basic Maslow's theory? That shelter, food, clothing, very basic. Can you imagine if we have a serious government? If you have heard about Segleme, for example, what has become of Segleme? Languishing in bush for 8 years, and you see or hear government giving reasons that somebody have spent money, and their inability to incarcerate or to prosecute them, jail them, dangling about the issue, much ado about nothing, is what this government are doing. I don't blame Akufo-Addo's government. I'm blaming government come and gone, that they don't take housing serious at all. Look, rent control, in fact, I know Mr. Kposu, whenever I meet him, he's a public servant, and he is serving his masters. And Mr. Kposu would always say something to please his masters. If not, he loses his job. And you should understand him at a point, because certain things that cannot be justified need not to be justified. And I understand him. Can you imagine that in this modern world, we have a whole department? Government cannot build. Government has proven beyond reasonable doubt that it is impotent to build. It's on record. Their actions and everything that they do says that we cannot build, because they are not serious about what we have to put into building. So let us rule it out. Now, you look at an agency established about 60 years ago. 1963 minus 2023. How many years? 60 years ago. They don't have independence. Government doesn't want to improve it. It was this Akufo-Addo's government that is talking about you want to digitize. Should we take how many government, if they were serious? And I always advise Ghanaians that we should not allow politics to blindfold us. These are policymakers. I don't sit here to do politics, but I am trying to actually advise and bring the attention of Ghanaians to bear that we must desist from this MPP NDC saga. Whether you are an NPP person and your government is not doing what is right, you should be able to stand enough to condemn your government. If you are an NDC, it comes to housing, nobody will pay your rent for you. You need to secure loans from the bank, pay unpardonable interest. That can even lead you to incarceration. What happens of it? So we have a government, don't have for housing there. It's not part of the agenda. But you hear and see this government with their manifesto. In fact, I have sent a signal. This year, this election we are going, it's about no house, no vote.
Oh, so that's the slogan.
No house, no votes. We don't want any bridges. We don't need a free education. No. If you even just oppose housing and education, where does education comes in? If I don't have a place to sleep, where does education comes in? This is a priority in misguided. They don't even know that. Let us build. Ask yourself, how come that this housing issue has risen to this point? In 1980s, we have this structural adjustment program, SAP. where the Bretton Woods institutions just have to instruct our government, don't build. Don't do it. Allow them to struggle. Give it to private sector. Don't build. And this is where we have become. And we have lazy governments, irrational governments in this country, come and go. I'm not making inference to any particular government. But those which have come, let's take the Fourth Republic. Under the 1922 Constitution. All the government come and gone have disappointed Ghanaians big time. And they should bow themselves in shame that this time they don't get it easy at all. I always say that if you pick 9 out of 10 Ghanaians, active population, they are tenants. So we are talking about 18 million Ghanaians who are renting and suffering. How many people bring government to power? 6 point something. 3 multiplied by that are suffering. Why don't we use our numbers and attempt to punish them? We don't need to.
So you expect housing to be a very big conversation ahead of the next.
After food, health, okay? And whatever, food. How much budget are they giving to the housing ministry? Let's ask President Akufo-Addo.
Should we not admit that governments are really incompetent in building houses, and so we need to empower, if you like the rent masters that you talk about and co, to invest in housing?
Government has a responsibility first, build. At least you will support the building. Government has a lot of land banks sitting down years. Nothing is being done on that land. They won't give it to the private sector. Do you know that if you go to Grader, ask Grader people, the Ghana Real Estate Development Association, you ask them what are the factors that will lead to high cost in building, land, litigations, and what have you. Government need to partner, do the PPP, give you them land, service the land. That takes about 55% of the cost. Then 45% is borne by the private sector. Then the housing becomes cheap. Government has the legal instrument to negotiate with our chiefs, the stools, and negotiate for more lands for the private sector. The government is not just ready for housing, but we must speak, sorry for this word, sense into their minds. It's like they seem to have gone to all kind of having their masters from the top to down.
Maybe they have houses to sleep in, so they don't care about us.
They are not rational. They are heartless. They are cruel. They are heartless. If you bring heartless people to govern your country, that's why you see they ride in cars, in big cars, air conditioned 24 hours. They don't care about you. When it comes to elections, just come and lie. You give 50 Ghana cedis. You wear MPP and NDC, trumpeting vuvuzelas, making unnecessary noise, and you are suffering. This is the kind of heartless government we have, and we are going to vote them out and ensure that the right things are done. In fact, the tenant union of Ghana, leading 18 million Ghanaians, will now be a hallmark where elections will be held. In fact, we are going to create a platform, the Housing Manifesto. Come and tell us what you can do. And I will rather even get vehicle, go the whole Ghana, be campaigning against a sitting government if you don't make critical commitment to housing. It's not just manifesto promise. Real promises that you must live to expectation. And the housing is the topic of this year's elections. They should forget about bridges and education and whatever. We are fed up. They must build so that we don't give the leverage or the loopholes for landlord travels on those things. In fact, there's a demand and supply issue. More demand, less supply. Definitely, government is not building. You set up a rent control, and Mr. Kosu is been sitting here that we have to come and assess. Have you built for you to assess? Now, have they built? You do not want to do anything to remedy the situation. Then you say that the government, the law gives us the opportunity to come and assess, and even the government itself, which the law is under, what has it done? You become lazy approach of solving problems, and you really want to talk about you want to solve.
Mr. Poku, do we really have a housing deficit in that magnitude? Because many have said that there are a lot of idle homes sitting around cantonments.
Let me answer you. Don't continue. In the private sector, the grader. In fact, we don't have shortage of housing. It's a palpable lie. The houses are there. Economically, we cannot afford. In fact, just move, take your vehicle and your distance and go and look at the vacant houses over there.
Yes, there are lots.
Now, even government talk about affordable housing. Government affordable housing, one single bedroom is 99 million.
How many Ghanaians can afford it?
They're so affordable. government, 2-bedroom standard goes for 182,000
cedis or dollars.
1.82 billion Ghana cedis. 3 standard bedroom, three rooms, about 330,000 Ghana cedis, 3.3 billion. We are talking about here. This is a government come and gone, and it's not only Akufo-Addo's government. Mohamed government said it, and they should all understand he's making a comeback. Those who are there, we are going to ask them and query them for their negligence of responsibility, not to house their own citizenry. If you are a government and you fail to find where your people to sleep, then you are more or less quote-unquote useless government that you need to not to even seek for re-elections or what have you. But I know they will listen to us. I want to keep my fire. You advocate, but I can tell you the rental assistance scheme that has been brought for tenant union, and the way I've heard and I'm following, is good.
Okay.
It's come to reduce some pressures on us because government is not building. So if government really want to support, whereby they give you at least every month pay, then you don't now think about how much I have to pay within a period of time. It also enables you to save.
Yeah.
So in case of paying 3 years, you must secure 30,000 Ghana cedis, right?
Yes.
But you'd rather do maybe 1,500 a month. That money can be invested. Are you okay? Your government has prepaid for you, and you don't have any problem with it at all.
Okay.
With this project, if they themselves do not come in to politicize it,
yes,
then it is very, very good. But we have the confidence now that it has been given to a private sector. I have met the man about 1 or 2 times, the rent masters,
yeah.
And the guy, the way the modalities put in place, in fact, it is very difficult for government to even be involved and to influence what he's doing over there.
Okay.
But I pray it remains like that, and we can go to places.
Okay. So what are some of the most frequent issues your department deals with?
Okay. No, before I answer that, there are some 4 comments I want to make. The first is that rent masters is not into building.
Yes.
They are really strictly in renting.
Sure. Okay.
Second issue is that the issue about involving private sector in the housing deficit reduction. Before even that, we can't discount or dispute the statistical report from the Ghana Statistical Service that there is 1.8 billion housing deficit in the country, unless we have any document that can dispute that. So the housing deficit is there. So the issue about involving the government, involving private sector, we are reviewing the Rent Act, which is before Parliament now. Cabinet has given it approval. And in that document, we are trying to encourage the private sector. That's why we are increasing the rent advance demand to 1 year. So that we
so it's moving from 6 months,
6 months to 1 year. So that we can encourage them to invest more. Because if you want to restrict yourself to monthly rent payment or to the maximum of 6 months, though you see housing is a long-term investment.
It is.
But if you want to restrict yourself monthly for the rent payment, how are they going to reinvest into the system? And then also, there are land banks, as Mr. Opoku mentioned. Government has opened its arm through the Ministry of Works and Housing now. If you are an investor, a private investor, and you want to involve yourself in this housing industry, you can come and sit down with the Minister of Works and Housing or the Chief Director. A part of the land bank, and just as Mr. Opoku mentioned, it will reduce we have estimated about 40% reduction of the housing, so that you can build with your own resources. The land banks will be given to you, utility will be provided, so that all these things will be taken off the cost. And then after building, you slash the thing down between 40 and 50%, as you mentioned. So these are the comments I want to make. The frequent, most involving situation and issues that we get in our offices from the beginning of the year and later part of last year, a lot of landlords are bringing tenants who cannot pay their rent.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So the landlords are bringing the tenant?
Exactly.
But usually they will just kick them and evict them and throw their things
there
out.
are laws. So you see, with the sensitization is catching up. Because if you don't know your right to stand on it, people will just be using you. So now that they know that they cannot forcefully eject any tenant when the person contradicts the law, they are bringing them to us so that we can aid. Because the law says that you cannot owe landlord a month's rent. After a month, the landlord has right to visit the rent control. You cannot go to the police that somebody is owing me. You have to go and arrest the person. This is not criminal offense.
Yeah.
So you have to pass through the rent control department. Well, we have to do some small investigation. See, you cannot cause nuisance and annoyance. All these provisions are there. But you cannot, based on that, forcefully eject a tenant from. You cannot pick a gun that you are smoking weed in my house, so just pack your thing. You need to come to the rent control department for us to do that. So the most frequent issues that are coming is because of the economic situation.
Wow.
People cannot pay their rent.
Wow.
So we thank God for this.
So what do you tell the landlords? Because yes, people are having their monies locked up. Sometimes they have the money, but if it's locked up in some financial institution or whatever, it becomes very difficult. So what do you tell the landlords?
The law cannot see that your money is being locked or your air is being cut.
Yes.
You see, so the law says that you cannot owe the person more than a month's rent. Okay. If you are owing the person and you discuss with the person and the person understands, it can give you some grace period. But without that, the person has to follow the due process. Report you, we do the investigation, and then we aid the eviction with the power of the rent magistrate.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the frequent issues that are coming to our department.
Anyway, it seems the conversation is getting interesting, but we are running out of time. So I'll give you the final words. Mr. Poku, what will be your final words as far as this conversation is concerned?
What we are saying is that tenants in this country should have trust in the new scheme.
Okay.
That it's not a killer at all. Now that the tenant union is involved, they have opened their doors, we are involved. Trust me, we will advocate on it much more and ensure that fairness, equity is the game here.
Okay.
So I can assure them that definitely nobody apply. Just visit the sites, apply, and we use our eye microscopically to follow
to monitor. Mr. Kwasu, your final words.
Yes, so my final word, if you have to give me time, let me just mention that since the launch of the manifesto in 2000, the Minister of Works and Housing, the Minister himself, has put in so much effort before the launch on the 31st of January. And then let me briefly ask Ghanaians, or tell Ghanaians, that everybody qualifies.
Okay.
The eligibility criteria you need to follow is that you have to be a Ghanaian above 18 years. You need to hold a Ghana card. You need to provide bank statement or Momo statement.
Okay.
Or you need to provide a 3 month pay slip. These are being required to make sure that you get money into your account. And then what you have to do as a tenant, you have to go around, look for the apartment you will be convenient for you. It's not the scheme who will choose the apartment for you. You have to conveniently go and choose the place. And then make sure that the rent that you are going to pay will not exceed 30% of your income.
Salary. Okay.
Okay, because that is the international standard that your rent should not exceed 30%. If you are satisfied with that, you come and log on to the www.nras.gov.ga, nras.gov.ga. You go there, you apply, you provide all the requirements. If it's checked out or you are approved, before then, within 5 to 10 days, you'll be given signal as to whether you qualify or not. If there are some impedance, they will tell you that go and correct it, go and correct it. Then you submit those things. We will follow you, that is, the scheme will follow you to go and look at the apartment. Do due diligence, because somebody can post as a landlord. We want to make sure that it's not a caretaker who is going to rent the place for you, so that the money will be paid directly to the landlord. And then we come and sit down with the prospective tenant, schedule how much you have to pay per month. If you default within a month, just as I said, the law says you should not owe landlord a month's rent. If you default, we'll just kick you out, okay, through the legal means, and then replace you with another person, or we tell the landlord to refund the rest of the money, so I'll put it in the coffers, and then we can extend the assistance to other person. So this is basically what you do. But you can get all information on the website, that is www.nras.gov.ga, or you can WhatsApp to this number or call this number. Any other information you want to get, that is 055-134-1515, 055-134-1515. You can go there or send a WhatsApp, make an inquiry, answers will be provided to you.
Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. It's been a very enlightening and revealing conversation as far as rent is concerned, and I'm sure it will be very beneficial to all of you who are watching from everywhere across the globe. This is the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. I've been here with the Secretary General of the National Tenants Union of Ghana, Mr. Frederick Opoku, and then also the PRO of the Rent Control Department, Mr. Emmanuel Posu, who have been my guest on today's edition of The Lowdown. We're back same time next week with another edition. We are planning to have a conversation with the Minister of Works and Housing, and then we'll delve into what government's commitment is as far as housing is concerned. Because like Mr. Puku said, there's a lack of commitment from government, past and current, in terms of building a lot more to solve the critical needs of Ghanaians. My name is Daniel Ojo. Until next time, it's bye for now.
There's a growing trend of spousal killing in recent times. In a space of 2 weeks, there's been cases of people who opt for murder and killing of their spouses as a comeback in their relationship. We are here at 37 Station to gather views on this trendy issue. Come with us.
Everybody and how the person takes what happens to them. It's relationship. Some might let it go, some wouldn't let it go. They would like to take revenge because maybe might have invested in a fellow that he or she thinks, no, I need to get something back. The investment he or she did is expecting something in return, and if he doesn't get that thing in return, that's when some of them take those actions. But I don't think it's right to do for anybody to take an action against if the person refuses to love you back, or just let it go. Maybe you find another partner somewhere else. It looks like the ladies are really cheating the men. They are really cheating the men nowadays, and the men don't want to let go, so they just want to take revenge. If I don't get you, after everything that I've spent, if I don't get you, then I need to end your life. That's how. When it gets to these relationship stuff, my friend, sometimes it's about self-control. Some don't have self-control. Yes.
The thing is that this thing here is not about the security people like the police, because they can't be in your house to ensure that you don't kill someone, or because after all, if you're in a house with your girlfriend or you're in a room with your girlfriend, whatever goes on in the room is between you and her. You understand? So I think what we can do to curb this whole issue now is to educate the public about the issue. And I think that what is causing this whole thing is, I don't know, should I call it depression or... Yeah, because there are some people who like when they are depressed, they're not able to control themselves, so by they do all kind of crazy stuff and things like that. So I think we should educate the public about the issue. Yeah, I think that's what we can do as a nation to help.
Well, it depends on who you trust, and that's the problem. When you trust someone and then the person tends to hurt you in a way, sometimes you can't control yourself. So maybe that's what brings on. But well, that's how some people can't control themselves, and that happens. Charlie, who call relationship after you are come a photocopy, never copy new room. That's what I say. Anyway, but let's say you are in a relationship. You should not, for now, like this generation, because you shouldn't rather put all your trust in it. Like, main kind of thing, like that was the person in a sense, like when you be grandpa, it won't pain you to the extent of killing the person.
But it's men doing the killing.
Yeah, sure. But girls too can poison you. Be there.
It's not good that a guy should kill a lady because of abandoning him or something. That one is unfair. For killing, I'm not sure I can kill. Yes. What I'll just do is because this can you have to do people. Yeah, so maybe how I'll feel is what I'll do. But for now, I can't tell you what I'll do to the lady. Exactly. It's very painful. Yeah, it's very painful. You see, nowadays, guys nowadays, they are not like our olden fathers that they forgive things like that. So you see, now the street guys especially.
Relationships are based on commitment. You understand? So if you are committed to something, I'm not sure you'll be willing to let go or let it slide. But then in this case where they all say it's men doing the killing, fine, yeah, it's men doing the killing. I feel sometimes people are too emotionally attached to other people, and then it causes them to like lose their guard during certain circumstances. This one, it don't be security matter. It don't be security matter. You don't expect a cop to be lurching around in your house asking you what a girl is doing in your home. Like until maybe like further complaints are placed for them to like maybe set in. They can't just come into your home with their own will and then do whatever they want. I feel like they didn't place maybe their reports well, or maybe the kind of reports they were giving weren't factual, because sometimes people place prank calls and that kind of stuff. So that has made the security system to be loose.
Remember, no so omo yes had no omo nya ade. What as obaka say ebia me nware obi ma eno nche say unkokum no. What I say, because broken heart there, unya, it gives you experience. Yes, and the experience, man. I'm say next time if I go into a relationship, I will not do this, I will not do that. It is that I did, and I have a problem with my woman. What I said, that means what experience into what to do and what you are not supposed to do. You understand? But all in all, God is one. We are in end time. Don't forget that.
So you heard the thoughts and views of people on the issue of spousal killing that is growing in our community recently. What is your opinion as well? You can drop them in the comment section below. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV, for more of such contents. My name is William Na, reporting for GhanaWeb.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now, back canopy. Susu sang pine, dear one to Nambia, a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did a shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange rate in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this send this guy Akofino, download to Lemonade Finance.
Member of Parliament for Nandong, Members of Parliament, Chairperson and members of the Board of the Trades Union Congress, Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, representatives of organized labor, the Tongorana and other traditional rulers, Ghanaian workers, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. It is always a great pleasure to be in the company of organized labor on the occasion of the International Workers' Day of Solidarity, May Day. Ghanaian workers, Aiko. The Vice President, who has always been present at May Day celebrations since 2017, has asked me to convey his apologies to you for not being able to make it today. He's welcoming the Prime Minister of one of Ghana's most important partners, Japan, who's arriving this morning in Accra for a 2-day official visit. He's the second Japanese Prime Minister ever to visit our country. God willing, next year, the Vice President will be with us again on May Day. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, it is good to be back in Bolgatanga, the city chosen for the 7th May Day celebration of my presidency. And I'm happy the leadership of organized labor continues to rotate the hosting of this all-important event for workers between the regions. It mirrors the now established practice of rotating the venue of our Independence Day celebrations. Long may these traditions continue. Since the onset of COVID-19, whose effects have been exacerbated by the Russian invasion of Ukraine, one of my major preoccupations continues to be the protection of lives and livelihoods. Indeed, this is a responsibility bestowed on me by the Constitution, and I want to reassure you that government will do whatever it takes to protect your incomes and pensions in these challenging times. When we met last year at the Black Star Square in Accra, I assured you of government's commitment to protecting the jobs and incomes of workers. Not only did we demonstrate this over the course of the year, we also proceeded to improve on the existing incomes of workers and pensioners alike. Organized labor appealed to government for the payment of cost of living allowance, COLA, for public sector workers to cushion them against the difficult economic conditions. In response, government and organized labor reached an agreement for the payment of 15% COLA to public sector workers. As a sign of goodwill for workers in the private sector, the National Tripartite Committee agreed to the payment of 15% COLA for them, in addition to the 10% upward adjustment of the 2023 National Daily Minimum Wage. In spite of the difficulties, the difficult challenges government employers face, this was made possible through consensus building to ensure businesses attain high levels of employment to hasten economic recovery. This is no mean feat, as it is the first time in the history of the determination of the National Daily Minimum Wage that the parties agreed to the payment of COLA after wage adjustment for the year has already been agreed. This is an indication of our collective resolve to protect workers and their standards of living. You would also recall that this year began with government and organized labor concluding negotiations on the 2023 base pay and pay point relativity for public sector workers in January 2023. Following a series of consultations and consensus building within the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee, the base pay on the single spine salary structure was increased by 30% over the 2022 figure, effective 1st January 2023. Indeed, the 30% increment of the 2023 base pay is the highest since the introduction of the single spine salary structure in 2010. It was made possible by the 2.5% increase in VAT. This increment will help mitigate the difficult conditions workers are facing, largely arising from the effects of global inflation. I urge organized labor to continue to work with the rest of the tripartite body to conclude negotiations of public sector salaries and the minimum wage for the 2024 financial year as soon as possible. On the issue of pensions, government recognizes the challenge posed by low pensions, resulting from the relatively low incomes workers receive during their working life. Because government is resolved to improve pension payouts, effective 1st January this year, all pensioners on the SNP pension roll as of 31st December 2022 have had their monthly pensions increased by 25%. This year's increase is a significant improvement over the 2022 rate of 10%, and also the highest increase of annual pensions since 2005, during the time of the government of another NPP president, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. All these measures put together demonstrate to workers that the Akufo-Addo government is a listening one, a government which is committed to improving the lot of workers and their dependents. In the wake of the current global economic crisis, it has become even more imperative to protect workers. Our collective responsibility in achieving this objective is important, and it is for this reason that I consider the theme for today's celebration, protecting incomes and pensions in an era of economic crisis, our responsibility, as most appropriate. Secretary General, organized labor, it is evident that this current global crisis is the worst crisis the world has experienced in the past 50 years. In spite of the damaging effect of the crisis, we have managed to protect lives, livelihoods, and jobs and kept the lights on. The crisis is having a profound impact on national economies and societies. Incomes, pensions, and investment funds are equally being affected as a result of the multiplier effects of the multifaceted crisis. Government's policy responses have been targeted at restoring macroeconomic stability, ensuring debt sustainability from the short-term mitigation options to addressing the long-term structural challenges and paving the way for sustainable and inclusive growth and development. I acknowledge the fact that over the past few months, the Ghanaian discourse has been dominated by the launch of the Domestic Debt Exchange Program. I wish to emphasize that participation in the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, voluntary as it was critical for the protection of the economy and the enhancement of our capacity to service our public debts effectively and create fiscal space for our growth and development. In the midst of the current economic crisis, we cannot risk defaulting in the payment of our public debts, which will attract severe consequences, and hence the debt exchange program. Despite the back and forth which characterized discussions with stakeholders on the domestic debt exchange program, government is truly grateful for the overwhelming participation of bondholders. The support, cooperation, input, and feedback government received to fine-tune eventually the domestic debt exchange program were unprecedented and reassuring. In undertaking the domestic debt exchange program, we have been very mindful of its potential impact on the pension funds of workers. We will not act in any way to shortchange workers in protecting their pensions. It is for this reason that government, through an MOU signed with organized labor on 22nd December 2022, decided to grant exemption to all pension funds in the domestic debt exchange program. At the same time, in the MOU, both government and organized labor agreed to work together, quote, to explore mutually beneficial options within debt sustainability limits and to also promote macroeconomic stability and economic recovery in the spirit of social partnership, unquote. In this regard, within global risk management practice, the options should include diversifying the portfolio of pension funds from the current 70% in government paper to real sector investments, including rail, housing, urban transportation, motorways, and airports, as is done by other pension funds. I'm aware that both the Minister for Finance and the Minister for Employment and Social Relations and their technical teams have been working with organized labor and its associations and pension fund managers and trustees to explore these mutually beneficial options. I'd like to use this occasion to appeal to organized labor to work urgently with government to conclude the discussions within the spirit of social partnership and burden sharing towards addressing our economic challenges and providing a stronger base for our rapid growth and development. We're also very much aware of the impact of the domestic debt exchange program on the domestic financial sector, and steps are being taken to mitigate the impact of the domestic debt exchange program on the sector. As has been announced by the Finance Minister, we're establishing the Ghana Financial Stability Fund to provide, among others, solvency and liquidity support to eligible financial sector institutions which may be affected by the domestic debt exchange program. In addition, The Bank of Ghana and the regulators in the financial sector space have provided some regulatory reliefs to support affected institutions. In keeping with our common objective, government through the Financial Stability Council will monitor continuously the impact of the domestic debt exchange program on financial institutions to enable it to take remedial action if and when necessary. This will ensure that measures put in place to safeguard incomes, deposits, pensions, investor funds and assets are effective. Mr. Secretary General, I agree with organized labor when it says protecting incomes and pensions in an era of economic crisis is our responsibility. This is evidenced by the fact that over the course of the year, government has kept every single public sector work on the payroll. There have been no job losses. Every public sector worker continues to keep his or her job. Even at the peak of the dual global health and economic crisis of the last 3 years, government ensured that no public sector worker was taken off the payroll as a result of the crisis. Government's posture today is the same, even in the difficult times we find ourselves. We have demonstrated this through our commitment to increases in the national daily minimum wage, base pay, and pension payments, amongst others, in spite of their fiscal impact on the economy. Indeed, these increments have been made possible because government is very empathetic towards the people, as it should be, and is very concerned about their plight and the future of our country. In so saying, I'm aware that the Ministers for Finance and Labour and Employment Relations are working on the payment to the retirees of 2020. SNIT has completed the computation and has forwarded to the Minister for Finance, who has assured me that it will be effected this year. And I want to take that opportunity to reiterate to you that assurance. It is important to emphasize that protecting pensions and incomes in an era of economic crisis is tied to increased productivity, enhanced revenue mobilization, effective expenditure management, and in particular, the effective and sustainable management of the public sector wage bill. Today, the expenditure on compensation of employees, which comprises wages and salaries, allowances, pensions, gratuities, and social security contributions, represents 56.01% of tax revenue, which is higher than the ECOWAS threshold of 35%, creating a serious fiscal crowd-out effect. This calls for immediate steps to increase productivity in the public service, as well as aggressively increase revenue collection by the Ghana Revenue Authority. Given that growth in public expenditure far outstrips that of revenue, it behoves on government to bring expenditures, including the public sector wage bill, to sustainable levels. Managing the public sector wage bill in a sustainable manner would inure to the protection of incomes and pensions, as it helps contain inflation. Mr. Secretary General, we brought inflation to single digits and sustained it for some time until the global crisis pushed inflation to its current heights. We have brought inflation to single digits before, and we will do it again. Secretary General, the quest to diversify the economy for greater macroeconomic outcomes has become more paramount than ever. The current crisis provides an impetus for diversifying trade and production and exploring alternative income earning opportunities. As you know, we are committed to the policy of domestic food security and export-driven value addition. It is in our interest to patronize domestic goods and services to hasten economic recovery, create jobs for our peoples, and boost their incomes. Many a time, we overlook the national pension for foreign goods and services, but are quick to blame government when it begins to have a toll on our foreign reserves. Government will continue to do what is within its control. However, consumer preference for goods and services must be deliberately championed by us all. We must patronize the services of our own, support them to grow, support them to employ our fellow Ghanaians, so that together we can contribute meaningfully to building the Ghana we all want. I urge everybody here to support the region by patronizing made in Ghana products, including food and drinks, before departing to your respective destinations. This is one of the ways in which we can protect the incomes of people working and living here in Bolgatanga. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, dialogue, consultations, engagement in frank and open discussions remain very important routes through reaching consensus and proffering solutions for issues of national development. To this end, I'd like to entreat the tripartite, namely government, organized labor, and employers association, to reactivate the Social Partnership Council that was inaugurated in April 2019, but whose mandate came to an end in December 2022. The Social Partnership Council offers a mechanism for building a sense of cohesion, trust, self-management, and engagement in frank discussions with mutual sacrifices from all stakeholders to champion Ghana's development. I'm informed the government has already circulated a request for nomination for the reconstitution of the Social Partnership Council to the rest of the tripartite. And I call on the tripartite to provide nominations for the immediate reconstitution of the Social Partnership Council. This will be consistent with the Kwawu Declaration from the National Labour Conference of March 2022, which called for the Social Partnership Council to be strengthened as a platform for building consensus on development policies and programs. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, let me touch on a very important subject matter, which is the status of the IMF program negotiations. After achieving a staff-level agreement with the IMF in December 2022 in record time, 6 months after beginning the negotiations in July 2022, we've continued to work tirelessly to complete all prior actions required to present Ghana's program to the IMF Executive Board for approval. We have also made substantial progress on the debt exchange program, as well as on our engagements with bilateral creditors to secure financing assurance required for the IMF program. We are assured that the next round of meetings of the Paris Club will result in the formation of an official creditor committee, inclusive of China, and the provision of financing assurances. The IMF and the World Bank have been very supportive in this journey. With the progress made so far, we expect the IMF board to consider Ghana's program for imminent approval after the financing assurances are provided. I thank organized labor for the role they have played in this journey, especially their inputs into the preparation of the government's post-COVID-19 program for economic growth, which underpins the IMF-supported program. We're very confident that the approval of the IMF program will contribute significantly to the revival of confidence required to drive the successful implementation of the post-COVID-19 program for economic growth and the key structural reforms for economic recovery and sustained inclusive growth. Already, the progress we have made in securing the IMF staff-level agreement, in the debt exchange program, and the implementation of key structural reforms are yielding results. Inflation is decelerating. Interest rates on government treasury notes are declining. The depreciation of the cedi is slowing down. And GDP growth for 2022 has performed beyond expectations. With the successful implementation of the post-COVID-19 program for economic growth, we expect growth to recover in the medium term to over 5%. The medium-term growth will be supported by key interventions to support improvement in the business environment and export competitiveness, promotion of entrepreneurship for private sector development, fast-tracking the implementation of key growth-orientated programs under the Ghana Cares or Bantapa program, transitioning to a digital economy to boost productivity, increasing tax collection, and the formalization of the economy, and the strengthening of policies to adapt to and mitigate climate change for inclusive growth. As I have said on several occasions, Ghana will emerge stronger from this difficult period. I assure you that by dint of hard work, prudence, and creativity, we will turn things round. We will work to help return our economy to the days of high growth rates and make our country again the best place to do business and the most attractive destination for investment in West Africa, like we were in March 2020, prior to the onset of COVID-19. We are confident of a rapid economic recovery, and my government will not relent in this regard. It is a solemn pledge I'm making to you, my fellow Ghanaians, and one which I am determined to fulfill. Before I conclude, there is a matter of great importance which I must address, and it has to do with the stability of our nation. In times of difficulties, there would be those who would seek to exploit the situation in order to jeopardize the hard-won reputation of our country as a beacon of democracy and stability in Africa, and indeed in the world, in order to gratify their personal ambitions. Their ambitions show little or no respect for the capacity of the Ghanaian people to change their government peacefully through the ballot box, something they have done on 3 separate occasions in the 30-year life of the Fourth Republic. The great majority of us who are committed to democratic values and democratic institutions must continue to resist the claims of these adventurers and employ all legitimate means in a democracy to maintain our free, open system of governance, which is respectful of human rights, the rule of law, and the principles of democratic accountability. My government and I's respect for fundamental human rights, which are guaranteed by the Constitution of the Republic, includes respect for the right of association, which entitles every citizen to join any lawful association of his or her choice. That includes the right to join trades unions. And so long as I am president, we will continue to uphold that right. I need the active cooperation of organized labor to ensure that that right is respected. And I'll do my part to ensure the completion of the review of the labor law. In response to the appeal by the Secretary General to intensify efforts of bringing peace to Boko, I want to assure him, and indeed the nation at large, that there is no higher priority for government on the agenda of national security than the resolution of the Boko conflict. Not only are we enhancing as we speak the security deployment in the area to promote more strongly the rule of law and hold accountable all who violate law and order in the area, we're also intensifying the efforts to find a solution to the customary tensions that underline the Boko conflict, so that hopefully a final resolution of that conflict can be attained, just as has been attained in Gabon. Nothing will give me greater pleasure in the concluding days of my presidency than to help bring lasting peace to Boko. May God grant me the wisdom to achieve that outcome. In conclusion, I celebrate you, our gallant workers, once again for your hard work, selflessness, sacrifice, patriotism, and commitment to the development of our beloved nation. Your contributions will be duly recognized and rewarded, and I urge you to remain steadfast and focused in your pursuit of excellence. On this august occasion, I appeal to all Ghanaians, including organized labor, to continue to build on the good rapport and excellent relations that exist between us. The peace we enjoy today should never be taken for granted, and we should cherish every single moment that allows us to advance our development, progress, and prosperity in conditions of peace and stability. And I assure you of government's utmost support, cooperation, and commitment to that end. I thank you for your attention and congratulations to all awardees. Long live trade union solidarity.
Long live.
Long live organized labor.
Long live.
May God bless organized labor and us all. And may God bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Applause, 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 applause.
Oh, boy.
Hey, applause. We are taking the song from the police band.
Your thoughts on his presentation?
Well, he attempted to respond to some of the issues raised by the Secretary General of TUC, but you know, we are concerned about the fact that we want results. We don't want the speech. These assurances, we will take them seriously only when the results come. I am saying this because as a leader of workers, I've gone through insults for their problems. And when His Excellency did indicate about 3 years back that they were going to give the top-up for the pensions, it never happened. So even though he has given an assurance that it will be done this year, until it is done, we would still keep our fingers crossed. And I think the economy situation is such that every focus is now about IMF. You know, and I just wonder whether IMF has ever been a solution to Ghana's problems, and whether this time it will be a solution. But you state categorically, it will only exacerbate our problems.
Hard work pays. Hard work pays. And we are recognizing
today, 1st May, the hard-working people of Ghana, and are we set? Are we set? Are we set? Okay, so at this point, we will respectfully, humbly invite His Excellency to do us the honors by presenting awards to deserving workers of our land. So when you hear your name, you walk briskly and take your award. First on our list is Sister Rebecca Asibi Aglaga. We have Nana Asare. Nana Asare, that's the second person. Then that will be followed by Dr. Fidelis Atibila. That will be followed by Al-Hajj Nuruddin Al-Hassan. Naba Anyaniba Akulugu Sabo II. We have my own co-MC, Andrews Adokwe Tego. He is in charge of child labor and he is the Church of Pentecost presiding elder. We have Richard Parting. We have Sister Naayele SS Adefio Secretary. We have Brother Felix Asante, Sister Patience Jacqueline Azar, Sister we have Sister Margaret Hammond Abodago. We have Reverend Hayford Lai, our Sister Anita Kunedu Yabua. We have Stephen Ashele Tikoli, our Sister Vivian Kumoji, Sister Gifty Anka, our brother King James Azotiba. This year we have quite a number of females, and that's progressive. That's progressive. That's progressive. We hopefully next year we'll have more females being awarded. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hard work indeed pays. Well done. Well done. Such an honor to receive these citations from His Excellency. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are so grateful, Your Excellency, for doing us the honors. Well done. We have our Sister Patience Wanuma, our brother Harrison K. Ampabing, Sister Amina Issa, our brother Emmanuel Obing, our Sister Mavis Apia, well done. Today, your hard work is being recognized. Today, original King James, he has a new portfolio. Well done. We will call on our brother Al-Hassan M. Oldman. We will also call brother Al-Hassan Abubakari. Our sister Doris Aban. And our brother John Kobla Abaya. We are so grateful for your service to the motherland. Well done. Well done. Hard work indeed pays. And today you are being recognized for your hard work. Such a privilege. This year we are having quite a number of women, and that is impressive. Hopefully next year we'll have a greater number of women receiving awards. We invite our brother Isaac Kobna, brother Elvis Kennedy Yakun, sister Rosetta M. N. Boachi, our brother David Kwame Habia, our brother Theodore Agomeda Tete, our sister Eva Tobra Ejekum, our brother Divine Tamaklu, and our brother Richard Asamoah Mensah. Well done. Well done. Well done. Congratulations. Hard work indeed pays. From all sectors of the economy, they are being awarded today. We will invite our brother Godfred Abulbre Adogma, our brother Hussein Idrisu, our brother Muhammad Anas Tofiru, our brother Felix Eddie Kwansan, our brother Samuel Namuapoli, our brother Mahmoud Mohammed, our sister Sadia Yakubu. Then finally we invite the Gumnaba Alhaji Muhammadu Asibi Azonko. Well done. Well done. Well done. So grateful. Well done. Congratulations. 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 Such a privilege. We are so grateful, Your Excellency, for doing us the honors. We are so grateful. Well done. Okay, so we'll have group pictures after this. That's for whom now? Yeah. Please come. Thank you. Yes, it's left with 2. Yes. So we'll call leadership of organized labor should prepare to have a group picture with His Excellency. Okay. So we'll have group pictures. Award winners will come back, have a group picture with His Excellency, followed by leadership of organized labor. Then we top it up with organizing committee members. Yes, so award winners, please come with your awards, and we have a picture with His Excellency. Quickly, please. We want it done quickly. Yes, together. Award winners, please come quickly with your awards.
Impact of these awards. You said it has 2 dimensions. It motivates other workers while encouraging the distinguished worker receiving the award.
Yeah. Yes, you know, and also beyond that, you know, it goes a long way to create harmony in their homes. You know, well, when they take these awards home, their families will know that, look, their efforts have been recognized. You know, I dare say that sometimes you concentrate on your work and your family is grumbling. Sometimes you hear words, are you the only one? Are you the only? So when eventually you are given an award like this, then the family will know, oh, yes, my husband or my wife or my dad or what has received an award. So it creates harmony in that. And I think these are the things we need to be doing. It is not necessarily money, but this place you are seeing, and you keep them and your children are reading, other people read them. In fact, it's so exciting. I've ever received an award in Kumasi by His Excellency, the President himself. He gave it to me. I was excited, and I was also happy that he called my name. I said, look, Mr. Karawek, may you help us to succeed in this planting for food and jobs. It has all along been with me, and I cherish that award so much.
It is definitely a moment to cherish, as you can see on your screens. The award winners posing with the president to take these shots. We understand they will be joined by leadership of organized labor, some workers in your shot here.
You know, let me even say that these awardees, some of them come with their family members. You know, they come with their family members to come and see. And it's also a day that allows them to dress, you know, in a very gallant manner. You know, and the mere fact that you stand with the president and have a picture, which will be a memorial one. I mean, it's so refreshing. So I can imagine the joy that is going through these workers. And we, those who are watching, and other workers watching, you know, we wish it is their turn. But that's where the encouragement then comes in. So I think that the awards is giving a very positive, you know, results in terms of, you know, stabilizing emotions, dealing with social emotions, and then also encouraging people to work hard, and then so that you could also be awarded.
So that they could also be awarded. If you are a worker watching us now on Ghana television, remember to always distinguish yourself. Go the extra mile to ensure that your presence and absence are felt. It is a picture session with the leadership of organized labor and some award winners. The president is beaming with smiles and exchanging some pleasantries. He just made an appeal to workers to support him to achieve his objective of bringing the country out of the economic crisis facing the country.
You know, the theme is so appropriate that we should protect incomes and then pensions in this era of our economic crisis. for me, it is an affirmation that indeed Ghana is in economic crisis. Now, when we are in economic crisis, what do we do? Particularly with our pension. It's also telling us that there's been a threat to our incomes and then pensions because we are in the economic crisis. Now, I believe and I hope that government and labor will work together to make sure that we actually protect incomes, because what is going on, pensions are for the future, but we know that the pensions are being threatened by the DDEP program, and of recent, you can see that last week labor had to issue a press conference to threaten government, or not so to speak, to alert government that nothing should be done to affect our pensions. I just hope that with this May Day, government will stay off the pensions of workers so that we can have peace in the country.
So that we can have peace in the country. I must also say that the police band has distinguished itself as always. They gave us some very beautiful tunes, and the security services generally, their presence here has been very, very helpful. The program has so far been very organized, well organized.
Thank you.
You can just see that sometimes it's so exciting. The discipline force is so much neatly dressed, and they take their jobs seriously. You can just see the way they are dressed, smartly dressed, and then they are doing their job professionally. I know that I would like to use this opportunity to thank the municipal police commander, that is the Chief Inspector Salafo, and then the regional commander Lomote. They are very good gentlemen. I've known them, and they take their jobs diligently. You can just see that after this parade, their heads will be high because they've been able to host this program successfully without problems.
And the grounds, I keep on talking about the cleanliness that is I've seen since arriving in Bolga yesterday. And even as you drink water, you eat, there are people all over the place ensuring that they are picking. My colleague Sadat Mohammed was telling me earlier that they have a saying very similar to what the national security is using: see something, say something. And that is the mantra in the Upper East region, that wherever you are, if you see rubbish growing up anywhere, you draw the attention of authorities and then get it cleared up. And that is resplendent. What do you make of this? Is this something we can learn for cities like Accra, like Tamale, like Kumasi, so that we can make our cities a little more clean?
I've been here since Friday, and then I've been around the park and then around the town. And then yesterday, fortunately, the municipal chief executive, Honorable Rex, was around, and then we're all commenting about how neat the place is, and he said, look, that he was very happy. And I think that all the people have done very well, the authorities, the municipal authorities, the district authorities, and whoever.
A quick one on your screen is the members of the Federation of Persons Living with Disabilities. Workers have started marching now. No worker should be left behind, and that's one of the placards they are carrying here. So workers have started marching, a very important aspect of the May Day celebration.
Yeah, the disabled workers have just joined the TUC, and I think that is the greatest thing that should happen, because they are more vulnerable than us, and they need protection, they need a voice, and you can see that they are here to march with us. It is a very unique day, and you can see the excitement on the faces of workers. They are excited, and they are dancing, and they are raising their placards. I just think that, I don't know what government has been doing with all these numerous placards, but I think that they should capture all that is written on the placards and do analysis of it, because this is where you can draw a national economic, social, and political policies. You know, because they are raising pertinent issues, diverse issues, and then some of them are having solutions in them. So it doesn't mean that all the trackers are just condemning government, but they are providing solutions. And this, I think, is very, very important. And we are here with GRICO, which is the marching past. We are also happy that they have not put on lights today, because it's so important.
Talking about GRICO and all the power utility providers, particularly in the power sector, they've been quite wild, let me use the word wild, in recent times. In Tamale, they've been going, NETCO has been going around disconnecting institutions over a huge debt that has accumulated over the years. The Ghana Water Company has also initiated a similar move to recover debts that the public owes them. The Ghana Water Company, for instance, I know is owed close to 46 million Ghana cedis. The NETCO about 1.2 billion, and they are calling on workers to ensure that identify not workers but their customer base to pay these debts. Most of these debts are owed by public institutions, huge debts.
Yeah, certainly. Those public institutions cannot continue to operate without collecting their revenue, you know. But I think that moving forward, we should be able to design the system in such a way that the cost of collecting their revenue will be virtually small cost. You know, some people actually want to pay their utility bills, but you have to walk there and pay. You know, and they don't have the time. But if they can put people, you can pay online and so on, you know, and you can remind them about their bills so that they can pay. I mean, I enjoy the situation where on my phone I see how much I'm consuming my electricity, my water, and then I know that it is getting finished. So once it's getting exhausted, I quickly pay. You know, that it makes you responsible. It also makes collection of revenue very cheap. But I think that and in any case, it is most of the things it is government-owned institutions that owe them. You know, I mean, all the major heavy costs or owings to these institutions, electricity, NETCO, and then water, it's the government institutions. So I think somebody somewhere in those institutions must be disciplined for not, you know, being responsible to pay their bills. You know, yeah, because this is the way we should go. Otherwise, after this one next. So do we need to wait for these institutions to always do this before we pay? No, not at all.
Not at all. We are also in commentary box with my colleague here in the Upper East region, Mohammed Sadat. He's also the union chairman for the GBC local union for this region. Earlier on, you heard him before we came into commentary box. The workers, as you can see on your screens, are marching. If you've just joined us, this is a live broadcast of the 2023 National May Day celebrations. National May Day celebration, International May Day celebration is celebrated on the 1st of May across at least some 80 countries around the world to commemorate the struggles of workers who started way back with the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. This is basically to also show the unity and solidarity that workers have. So that's so far a number of speeches, the TUTC General Secretary, the President. What has impressed you most in terms of the speeches that they have delivered so far?
Thank you, Mutala. I think as a unionist, I want to say our TUC Secretary General speech. If you go online as we speak, everywhere on all the websites, that is what is making the headlines. General Secretary of TUC saying that the National Cathedral, we don't need it, we should convert it to a national hospital. That is what has caught my eye and has impressed me very well. I think he hit on the head as a unionist, because the National Cathedral, as we have always been talking about, most workers said, no, we don't need it this time. We need to build institutions. We don't have, when this COVID came into the country, we realized that most facilities in the country were converted to be hospitals. So if we have a national hospital for the country, it will be good. The Kolibu, the Konfano Teaching Hospital, the military hospitals, they are all there. But do we have a national hospital for the country? So if we convert the National Cathedral to a national hospital, whatever happens, sometimes when these great politicians fall sick, they fly them outside the country, South Africa and all that, because that means our healthcare delivery in the country is deficient. So what do? We need a national hospital, as the General Secretary said. I think that statement made by the General Secretary has trended.
And I can see journalists are having a field day with the sound bites, headlines, and everything. The headlines? No. I think that he has made a point about the National Cathedral. We need more hospitals. You know, their priorities.